Alright, so today we're going to be picking up with The Sims. We've been doing a rags to riches run with Penny, Liz Pockets. She has definitely gone to the riches thing. She's living in their Sims equivalent of LA. She's got a heckin' nice house. So, I mean, she's had her own maid and everything. Oh, you're hungry. Alright, so we have the camera turned this way. Oh, you're already making food, I think. Okay. But if we look at this, so our house is getting heckin' fancy. So if we put the roof on and everything, this is what our property looks like right now. We've got our giant like main estate building. We've got an observatory. We've got like our little personal gym with a nice little overhang over sand. Don't worry about it. We have a guest house, which is the son of the family's own private house. You go, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, you know, a teen young adult house. No, they're like 8. So imagine being 8-year-old and having what is effectively like your own, you know, own genuine like really good condo kind of thing going. We've got our nice little hedge maze here with a little bonfire in it, some picnic benches. We got a little garden, some kids' toys that we don't use anymore that I probably could just get rid of. But if we drop the walls for a moment to that and we drop a floor, we have the top floor here. We've got like kind of, you know, just, I guess you'd consider that a living room. We got ourselves like a little art studio, a little science room, just general crafting room. This room actually sees like no action ever. Then we can see like Bronson has his bedroom here. You know, just kind of this cool little estate thing. We go down another floor. We've got our kitchen and our dining room, the master bedroom and master bathroom. Like just this kind of, I would call it a den, maybe? A den that has its own bathroom. So that's all cool. As you can see, we've got our gym going on here. I've been basically doubling up the furniture because our character here almost always is like, I want to buy more stuff. And it's like, okay, I guess we're buying more stuff. Got our swimming pool. We've got, you know, Bronson has his own kind of like little living room kind of thing and his own bathroom. Now, if you look down here, there's actually windows in the bottom of the pool, and that's because we go down a floor farther, and we have to put the walls up. We have, Penny has her very own art gallery that she's currently working on filling, and it has like pool skylights? Question mark. This staircase goes up into Bronson's living room, but it also, wait a second, let's fix that. Oh, better. But we have like an actual like public bathroom kind of thing because we have a sleep easy that's got an entrance in the hedge maze. Bronson has his own recording studio. And then this is just like generally like a witchcrafty kind of room. It's not doing anything right now, but that's just kind of what it is. So you can see this property has gotten heckin' ridiculous. Alright, let's check in Bronson. So Bronson's sleeping and is going to listen to the radio. You want to talk about food. And you want to chat with Caden. You can make that happen. But yeah, things are going pretty well. We're getting really close for Penny to get her next aspiration. As well as we're getting really close to the 10,000 needed to make it so she never has to sleep ever again. So that's all going real well. Alright. So I'll take care of that. And if we check in on Bronson, Bronson's already done all of the childhood aspirations and is making good progress towards never needing to sleep again. As far as skills goes, Bronson has maxed out all of the childhood skills and is doing a pretty good job of like working on a bunch of stuff. I haven't been maxing out any single one of them. I've been kind of doing a little bit of everything. And that's been a deliberate decision because as you do your career paths later, I am going to run into situations where, can I discuss favorite recipes with you? I wish there was a thing where prioritize. I guess I can't. Oh, enthused about cooking, maybe? I wish there's a thing that was very easy, like, if you had a thing down here, it would always show up on this wheel. Because there's a lot of these things that are like, man, where is this? I'm thinking because it's a child, I can't actually discuss favorite recipes with Caden. So put that away. Clean up. And you want a thing worth 500 bucks? Yeah, and it's only gonna get worse as people get more and more skills. Like, that is the unfortunate reality. Oh yeah, I finally did turn around and hire a gardener and a maid and all that. Um, just because. So you want to buy a thing worth 500. Of course, he comes in and immediately does that. Well, I'll take that. So 500. You want to buy something for 500. The gym's got a pretty good amount of stuff already in it. Well, that's become kind of the problem, is they're trying to make the estate more and more valuable because I need to do that. But, it is becoming an issue where I already have everything we need and then some, and then they want more stuff. I'm like, but what? Okay, so I'm just gonna expand the speakeasy. Oh, here, we already have a style of lights just placed. Okay. So put the foosball table over... Actually, put the foosball table back over here somewhere. We can put the foosball table over here. That's gonna be way better. Alright, so you got that going on for the walls and all that. But I need more furnishing. Alright, but I need something worth like $500. We could probably put a chandelier over here. I don't think we have a chandelier in this room, but we could probably put like 2 in there. That they gotta be worth $500. Never mind, they don't get that expensive for what I'm looking for, so that's not gonna happen. Well, that's a bummer. We'll still put a chandelier up here. I need to adjust because I think my AC has turned off, and it is getting heckin' hot in here, and that is a problem. Alright, let me quickly adjust that because I'm going to sweat to death. Let's see, grab this. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Yeah, it did. It was like, let me save you money. No, stop trying to save me money. It's hot. I need to not die. What is new for this? Oh, I got new dressers and all that. A sticker box. Oh, that is not what I thought that was going to be. All right, that's fair enough. Bunch of cobwebs and all that. Okay, let's just reset it so I can go and scroll down here. So it's got to be at least $500. They're looking for something that might fit the speakeasy that is like $500 or more. That'll work. Okay. Put a walk-in vault at the back of the art gallery. That's not a bad idea. That could be the next thing. Is next time. Next time she wants some more purchases. All right, so more choices, friendly, small talk, brag about possessions. Is this a school day for you? Oh, school's already done for the day. Did you already do your homework? You have not done your homework yet. And you want to buy a computer? Fair enough. Let's see, Rual, have you tried to do a generation building? Basically, you start with 2 Sims, continuously build more buildings off of the main building, going roomwork style plus vertical. I mean, I guess we've sort of done that, but it takes so long for a generation to happen that, like, it'd take forever. But no, I haven't done something like that. I have had it where, like, all the Sims in a family just keep living in a thing. I think unless you're doing something where, like, you're doing a 100 baby challenge or somewhere you're just having a ridiculous number of kids, though, it's probably not going to change much. Did the carpet disappear from this room? Oh, no, that's right. It was wood floors. They just happened to look about the same color as the concrete. You wanted a computer, that's right. But I haven't tried that before. And we do that. And we do that. You want to earn $100 doing game? You know what? We're not doing that. Every single time she's... Oh, it's fine. Enter novice tournament. She hates gaming, so it's weird that she keeps wanting to do these tournaments. And then not winning. But whatever. I'll give her what she wants. It still gets her points if she gets through it, and if not, when she goes to sleep, it'll reset, so who cares? Alright, why are you taking for her to sleep? Okay, so you want to listen to music, and you want to level up piano. This kid's sleep schedule is almost as bad as mine. At least he actually gets to sleep. Like, you have him go to bed and he just sleeps. Imagine The Sims if you told your character to go to sleep and they just lay there and not get rest. And that's just a game mechanic you put up with it. Some days it was just insomnia. Alright, don't forget your homework. Then you begin a stream. Then you practice piano. You're very sad because you lost at the tournament. You can sell that to the collector. Can I do a sad painting? Is that a thing? Oh, good. I can do a sad painting. If we're gonna be sad, let's embrace our sadness. Alright, so you're working on your piano skill. You're doing your stream to get your followers up. Yep, all we needed to do apparently was be a little sad, and we knocked out a masterpiece. Let's go ahead and move that to the art gallery. So last emotion-based painting was, I think, flirty they put there, so I'll put the sad one next to it. Oh, you're sleepy. Let's go ahead and have you sleep. Oh, good. Emotional meltdown. Love to see it. Alright. Let's see. I think it's more finding the right time flow. Normal speed is too fast. Medium speed is a touch too slow. Oh, I think you mean like the fast forward is too fast. I'm confused. You're talking about these speeds? Because I would assume. Oh, you must be talking aging. Yeah, it'd be nice if they had some like nuance in there, like maybe half steps between like the fast and the slow. I could see that being a benefit. Do you want to become inspired? So if you browse art, you'll get inspired, so I'll be more points for you. Yeah, no, it's all good. I was just confused for a second. Yeah, no, I agree. It seems like when I made it long, that Bronson is staying a kid for a long time. We should be getting relatively close to Bronson aging up. Yeah, 16 days. So we're 3/4 the way towards Bronson becoming a teenager. Oh right, you went upstairs to browse art. All right, that should fall off in a minute, and that should be enough that we go inspired. There it is. Let's record a video, an inspiring vlog. Because right now, Bronson has actually been bringing in money into the house finally. And the way we've been doing that is by effectively having them be a content creator. They go and they record videos, and they post those up online, working on the editing skill. Because all these, I'm trying to have Bronson bring in money as well, so that way... I'm debating if Bronson is going to just become a teenager, move out kind of thing, and make their way on their own. I haven't quite decided that yet. And as we get more masterpieces, I actually do plan to expand the art gallery. That might be a thing we can add. We could put some statues in the corners or something. Alright, there's the inspired vlog. We will post in the comments. Oh, wait. I have a fashion one? We're apparently going to be combining our fashion and our inspired vlog. Add transitions. Okay. So once the transitions are done, we can upload it. And they'll probably have Bronson run upstairs and go back to sleep. Never mind, there's not enough time. I was gonna say have him go back to sleep, that way he's rested for going to school. But it's too late for that. Alright, so you want to buy something worth 1,000. You would discuss your favorite recipes. Let's have you eat some leftovers. Take a bath. Sell all the plants we can sell. See, we can't sneak him listening into music before class. I don't think we will. Maybe. Because he's about to have to go to class here in just a moment. I guess it counted. Cool. Alright. So you've got all that. Alright, so we got our mail. And so we need to buy another thing worth 1,000. Let's see if we have any statues we can decorate the art gallery with. So we can go ahead and go to decorations. I don't know which one it's saying there's new stuff. We have curtains I don't care about. How much are you? You are not nearly enough. Alright. Do that to reset stuff. Let's go all the way to the bottom. You're too big. You're too big. We'll go with the armor. Oh, I need you to sell some paintings. I just realized we're getting real low on money. Gotta win a chess game and discuss your favorite recipes. It's actually not that bad nowadays, because every single day Bronson gets his royalty check from all his videos. And that's getting to be like 2,000 plus a day, and it's just been going up and up. Only 12,000 more, and that will... There it is. Yeah, 2,100. It's like, I heard there's someone famous at the bar. Do you know who I am? Have you heard my name? I'm a world superstar. Okay. Random. That is a Shrek. That said, before anyone gets too much, hey, all right. This is the warning. Like, don't go for another. That is unfortunately completely dominating of the chat. So the first one, funny, but like that very much will overwhelm the chat real fast. And gone. Because it's obvious that's not a thing you should do. Like, and it's not even like the whole Shrek thing or anything else about it. It's just like, no one else can chat when you're putting this thing on that's giant. That covers the whole thing. On the up hand, it was Shrek and not usually what I get when I get ASCII art from someone who's popping in and just randomly dropping stuff in there. Because usually, it's a giant inappropriate thing that results in an immediate ban without any second guessing because, you know, that's fairly obvious. You know, the individual's like, man, that was heavy-handed. It's like, you obviously got to realize... Is this a sad painting? Nope, this is a new, like, pop art painting. We only had the one sad painting, which is a masterpiece, which tells me I just need to keep her sad forever. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want... Well, it's gone now. Whoops. Wait, can I actually bring it back? Oh, I can. That's convenient. I'm glad that exists. Functionality that games should always have had forever. For those who didn't get what happened, is I meant to page down, I bumped the wrong button, and I deleted the painting from existence. I appreciate games that have edit and undo. Okay. And you're upset because you're getting real tired at class. That's fine. Your sleep schedule's completely hosed. I feel you, man. I can empathize. You're gonna get home, you get your leftovers, and you're gonna go to bed. By the way, Raul, did you know there's an erase brush for the ground painting? I did not. It makes sense. That's one of the things I appreciate is The Sims does do a pretty good job with a lot of that kind of stuff. Of just having lots of ways of tackling lots of different things. Okay, Bronson's already had their dinner. Was eating their dinner actively. Wait. Yeah, you're already eating your dinner. Okay. Surprisingly, didn't get any new assignments there. Alright. One of the other things, I'm going to put another room here. Like, that's the basement's where a lot of the new expansions are going to go. Because I should have plenty of room along this side still. I'm going to make the gallery more larger there. I can't really expand the pool in any way. I could certainly put a room here. And there's plenty of space back here. So we're going to probably get that going at some point. I do like the way this estate has come together. Oh, masterpiece is one we haven't done yet. We already have that one on the wall down there, so it gets sold. Because I'm leaning on the pop art, because there's still a bunch of designs we don't have down here. Because I'm thinking, like, we'll have the first room be pop art, then we'll make, like, a room for surrealism, then we'll make a room for the next thing. So that, like, literally, she will have her entire art gallery of just her own works, kind of thing. Let's see, after thinking about it more thoroughly, I realized that a career change is not in the cards for me. However, I do appreciate your concern. Thank me. We tried to convince the paparazzi to change their career. Add an infinity edge above ground pool off the kid's balcony. Can you do that? I don't think this game has that. I could be wrong, but I don't believe they have that. It'd be a neat idea. Yeah, no, it'd be sick. It would be sick to have, like, you know, an infinity edge. Even have it like waterfall over a little bit as well. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the game has that. Like, the pools really are just, you put it on the floor and it goes sinks in a full floor. So if I put a pool of any kind up here, it would make the pool go down to the ground level, would be the bottom of the pool. So unfortunately, I just don't think it's a thing. Like, there's probably mods or maybe DLC to accomplish that. Probably not. Probably mods. But yeah, the base game, I don't think that's a thing I can do. Like, sometimes you can fake certain stuff, like find certain tiles to make things look like stuff, but I'm not that super involved with it to know one way or the other. Alright. I don't think I have that design yet. That is one of the catches. When I paint these paintings, even though I could sell the painting for like 4,000 bucks, the painting, as far as what it is worth in considerations to the property, is still only like 400 or 500. That the fame effectively adds like a multiplier to it. That's actually... I don't have quite enough, do I? How much do you need to go up by? 12,000. Alright, when we hit like 20,000, we're just gonna buy statues or whatever. Alright, well, you already have that one, so sell it. Man, it's a masterpiece that's still only like $800. Come on, man. You can do better than that. She's real close to being able to have that never sleep again thing. The property have any lot traits? I don't believe so. I actually trying to remember where I find that. It was here, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. This resident is listed on the celebrity home tours, granting increased fame gain, restricted access, and awe amongst unwelcome visitors. Beware, though, those who live here aren't actually very famous and will be considered posers. Oodles of fresh air make for bracing environment to exercise. Chef's kitchen. Kids just seem to learn faster. Well, that would have been convenient earlier. The spacious but intimate feel makes it easier to practice charisma, comedy, and initiatives. Lots move toward eco-friendly, faster than others. Fast internet. Well, that's interesting. Gnomes. Local schools are great. Kids seem to get higher grades than usual and do better at homework. I didn't notice any of this stuff. Home studio, artsy vibe, great place for painting and working. Got better quality. Okay. I kind of wish that these were something that happened naturally. Like if I was doing a lot of art here, that you could end up having this happen just on its own. There are a lot of things. Study spot, a great place to enhance one's mind and pursue higher education. Not only will Sims complete their homework faster, but they can study longer without getting mentally exhausted. Science lair. That's interesting. Penny pixies. That is... Alright, I'm gonna choose the painting ones, because this is Penny's home. So we're gonna lean into stuff that helps Penny. So there'll be home studio, we'll have the lighting. Alright. It's just interesting. Let's see. So that's interesting. Like I didn't even know that there was these things. When you were talking about the lot things, I'm thinking about there was the challenges you could add. Clothing optional. Lovely. There are also challenge options if you click the trophy. Yeah, there was the we'll do great acoustics as well. Yeah, no, I did this on the other one. On the lot that Penny started on, we gave it cursed, filthy, and grody because it was like literally next to an industrial place. I'm not gonna worry about the rest of that. That's kind of cool. I like that. I hadn't even realized that. That's a nice touch where you can personalize it, because this will be Penny's property. And then eventually what we'll probably do is when Bronson gets old enough, we might have Bronson separate out. What I don't remember is if I do that, I believe Penny will become automated, and that might mess up with the challenge kind of stuff. Like I don't believe, and this could be wrong. I don't believe you control both homes simultaneously. I believe I would go to one home and I'm controlling that one. The other one goes automated, and then they go back. All right, we already have that one, so let's just sell it. How are you doing on your sleep? Oh, you're literally just getting up now. All right, well, do your homework. You don't really have any immediate needs to take care of. It's not super late. So I'll have you begin a stream. And how about during your stream today, replace your keyboard. And you practice the organ. Oh, good, you finally got a masterpiece of that one, because that's of the art. This is one of my favorites. Is just the monster face. Oh, I already have one of that one. No duplications. Are your needs going? You can take care of your needs for a minute. Alright. You let me a good Sims 4 run? Yeah, it's been going pretty good. Alright, so you're still doing practicing the organ. I love the robot streaming him by facing the wall behind him. Perfect, exactly what you need. But cleaned up spoiled food. Cook gourmet meal. Alright. Alright, so robot's about out of batteries, so we'll go ahead and cancel those. Then you want to listen to music. So I would do that, then dinner will be pretty much ready, so you can go ahead and grab yourself a plate. What jobs they have? Well, right now Bronson's a child, so his job is school. As far as Penny goes, she's been doing a rags to riches run. So part of the rules I gave myself for the rags to riches run is I couldn't have her just, you know, take on a standard job because she'd take care of all of her needs at the standard job. So I also have a arbitrary challenge rule for myself with her that anytime she's like, I seem to be enjoying, you know, art. Do I love art? Or I seem to be not enjoying art. Do I hate art? And no matter what it is, I say yes. So for starting out the Rags to Riches run, it was pretty rough. I'll go over how much things she hates in just a minute, because she hates a whole lot of things. She hates a whole lot of things. She is the existence of hating things. Yeah, so she hates she hates programming, video gaming, writing, gardening, handiness, and singing. At the beginning, for the writers, it's like, okay, we'll have her sing to make money at the bar. And then she hated singing. It's like, all right, well, fine. We'll have her go and, like, she'll be a novelist. She'll start writing. She decided she hated that. Okay, we'll have her try programming. She hated that. And then, you know, gardening and handiness we had her hate at the beginning just to start with. And so I was running out of things to do because with the Rags to Riches, I started on her dirt lot with no home and everything, and no money. And so I had just enough to get an easel, so I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're painting. And then she ended up loving him, like, great. Because it is kind of a meme slash meta strategy to go after painting. Nowadays, there's like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of things that are just as lucrative, but I was kind of trying to avoid the painting thing just because of it's just been a meme in The Sims forever that like, the stay-at-home person who just paints all the way being, just a good way of making money. But she hated everything else, so we got stuck with it. Because if it wasn't that, it was going to be down to musical instruments. It was just the easel was cheaper, and money was tight. But so she paints and is basically getting this going, and then Bronson we're working on making them. I don't know what the term challenge-wise is, but Bronson's going to be an everything person. That he is going to max out every skill. He's going to finish every aspiration. He's going to finish every career path. Is the plan. And we're doing really good in that. He's already maxed out all of the childhood aspirations. Super Sim? Okay, so Bronson's aiming to be a Super Sim. Has been making pretty good progress there. Has a lot of the skills, like already maxed out everything childhood related, and is just now picking up a bunch of random skills. She sounds like a single woman. Yeah, that was one of the other rules around it, is for the rags to riches. I couldn't just marry myself, like marry into wealth kind of thing. Like, I had to have her earn everything herself. So we had her adopt Bronson once, her finances got really stable. Just because it's like, okay, you kind of defeat the challenge of the run of just finding someone wealthy, marrying them, and suddenly you're wealthy. Like, I don't know what the formal rules for a rags to riches run is, but those are a bunch of rules I arbitrarily set myself. Alright. And even though you hate gaming, you keep wanting to compete in these tournaments, so we'll go ahead and let you compete in the tournament and get angry and upset, and then we'll have you paint while angry and upset. But yeah, she's also a global superstar because of all her paintings. Oh, and Bronson's also a more successful content creator than I am. He has, I think it's like 24,000 followers at this point. Has a channel that's very music themed just by the fact that I have all these musical instruments he's learning, because that's what things kids can learn. So a lot of times when he gets home, he just immediately comes home, starts stream, plays a musical instrument, finishes that, cuts a video. If only. Are you actually getting mad because of stale environment, not because of video games? Okay, cool. But yeah, the rags to riches, like the moment it got to the point that, literally all her needs are met, that she could just kind of take care of herself very easily with her painting, is like, okay, I needed something to add more to the run, because otherwise it's gonna be her just painting all the time. And that's when we adopted Bronson, and had Bronson start, putting all the time into like getting all this other stuff sorted. Alright, so Bronson's gonna end up having to sleep today. Like right after this. We're gonna knock out the homework, listen to the music, then Bronson's gonna go to sleep. Hey, you know what? That works out. Because you want to talk about... Oh, no, you don't want to talk about it. You want an excellent meal. Well, you took her picture and you didn't even let her talk to her? Come on. You need better than that. I, too, open and close my book twice when I go to do my homework. That's exactly how you do it. You just sit your book there, you open and go, and you close and you go, no, I have to do it. And then you open it again. Alright. So you're not going to level up your music right this moment. Instead, you're going to go to bed. Well. So we will have you just chat with someone. I haven't played The Sims in a long time. Any new Sims coming out soon? I believe someone had said there was some DLC like expansion or something coming on later. This is actually the first time I played The Sims 4 in a ridiculously long time. And I never got super into Sims 4. I was more into like, there's a horse DLC coming? Gotcha. Yeah, I'd heard something about DLC, but I hadn't looked into it more than that. Um, but yeah. I mean, it's The Sims. They always seem to like get another expansion all the time. Well, I should say they always get more stuff, like proper expansions. Only come once in a while. You're gonna go ahead and do that. Then you'll do a little bit of gardening, which you don't like. Okay. I also liked where the other one's like, hey, we want you to do a video for royalties and all that, but it'd be best if you did it angry. And because Bronson, we gave him the cheerful personality, we couldn't get him mad. Like he would start to get towards mad, and then I'd be like, no, it's okay. And you're like, come on, man. I I appreciate your array of sunshine and all that, but I really do need you to be in a sour mood now. Come on, man. It's for that sweet, sweet royalty check. Alright, we're gonna stop doing that. Get some leftovers. Take a bath. It's never the I can angry for money. Yeah, someone's willing to pay? Let's do this. I ain't angry. As those things is like, make a gaming video. Gamers seem to respond well to people being angry. And it's like, okay. Yes, it is actually kind of a trope, the angry gamer and all that. That people want review videos where you just dump on stuff and that kind of thing. Which is super disappointing because I actually personally don't care for that content as much. But it's like, yeah, that's definitely a truth. It's one of the things I've complained about on the channel before, like not even with like The Sims, but like in real life, that often negative kind of stuff tends to work so much better on so many things. It just kind of makes you disappointed about it. You know, someone gives a good review that's just generally positive. People are like, oh, you know, you must be, what's the word? Like you must be like sponsored by them. Oh, you're what's I'm blanking on the word, like a fanboy or whatever. It's like, you know, or people could like things. Liking things is cool. Alright, so you've got that. You need more social. Is there a way I can skill you up and social easily? You know, you both have a need for social. We can work with this. Stop painting for a moment. The two of you are going to sit there and knock out some chess real fast. Yeah, Sims who's always cheerful. She's so cheerful, all her evil friends can't bring her down. The Dragon says, every DLC has a bit... every DLC has been a bit of a flop recently. Always feels like they're chasing the coattails of Sims 2 and 3 for things that should have been part of the base Sims 4. That was the thing that got me. I think it was going from Sims 2 to Sims 3. Like, you played Sims 2, you had all your, like, DLC or whatever that you had gotten. And then you went to Sims 3, and then you're just like, okay, I'm just rebuying the content I already had on, like, the new engine, and, like, this feels like crap. Like, you already had pets. It's like, I don't expect you to burn down your engine and get a new engine. I know you iteratively improved this engine, which means all this crap is still in here. So, like, you genuinely strip these features back out, and, like, I can't look at it any other way. That's like you deliberately said we put a different number after it. Rebuy your pets. You need to buy your pets again. Fido over here got sent off to their own. You can't have Fido. I need to adjust where that green screen is. Like, and then Sims 4 came out. I'm like, and I didn't end up picking it up for a long time. I think I mentioned it the other day that I did get a bunch of DLC, but it was I waited till like they had like this big sale that was like 70-80% off on all but like the latest expansion or whatever, and only then to like pick it up at all. Not playing the game that's from Sui Day. Oh, I mentioned it during Sui's stream that it doesn't function well with OBS. It does that thing where you have to display capture it to get to show up, and then it stuttered a lot. I'm like, all right. I was joking about playing it for the meme for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, but when it wouldn't even capture, I'm like, okay, I can, like, because the animations quality-wise were good in the game, but like the game itself was really just a miss start to finish, which made sense. And I looked up the company that was a board game company that they had ported one of their board games into a computer game, and it had just a bunch of like random things that weren't the way it should be. It was like, okay, I see how you got there. You're not gonna go in that jungle gym. That doesn't make us money. What do you think you're doing? You're going to begin streaming. And you're going to practice your violin. Oh, you're broken. But yeah, no, it was funny. Like, don't get me wrong, the game was a hot mess. And that was the reasons I didn't actually put up a review on it, is I didn't want to put a positive review and people be like, you gave this a positive review, this game is crap. At the same time, I also didn't want to give it a negative review that, like, wasn't meaningful. Like, if I'm going to give a game a negative review, I am going to go through and I'm going to go and say, hey, here's the things that are good about the game, here's the things that are bad about the game, I don't recommend the games because XYZ, if that changed in the future. Like, I'm someone who'd actually talk through all that kind of stuff. Because I was going to put up a review that said, well, great, the bot's busted. I was going to put up a review that was going to be just like, I played this. And that was going to be the entire review, and I was like, no. Like, as someone who's been a developer, those kind of reviews actually are a problem in the sense that it makes it harder to find useful and usable information. And you can tell that the developers tried. And it just, again, they had things like third-party signs. Oh, your fame is going down. We don't want that to happen. Oh, I guess you haven't been selling that many paintings. You've been putting so many of them in your art gallery. That's fine. Social networking, upload viral video, social networking, update social media, social networking, share image, resume painting. Surprisingly, for a broken drone, it's still recording. A broken drone with a dead battery. It definitely feels like, because it seems to go until the action ends, it definitely feels like it should have the battery dies in this, and even if your action's not done, it stops. Because it does feel very abusable. Alright, so we skilled up, so we're going to cancel that out. We study the trends, we're going to replace the drone that's burnt up. Okay, sad vlog, kids and energized vlogs, and gardening. Well, we'll just do a cheerful vlog. We'll ignore the trends. We'll produce content that won't perform as well. It's just what's gonna happen. What happens if you don't finish your vlog and then you have to go to school? We're just gonna push through. I believe we already got the masterpiece of that one done. I believe it was on this wall. We did. School, where's the home tutor? In this game, you do have to have your kid go to school. There is no homeschool in this game, at least not that I'm aware of. Clean out spoiled food. We'd like to cook an excellent meal, so we'll go ahead and get that going. Bum. Make some spinach fritas. Frittatas. Okay. So we'll just upload a video in general because Bronson, the only way Bronson can cook is to cook together with Penny. It's just too much of a chore to set that up. There's that royalty check. Okay. Where did you go? Where are you? That was an unusual... Oh, did the fridge upstairs break? Is that what happened? Nope. I guess he was blocking the fridge? Oh, we got food that's going to be down there. That's fine. All right, you want to paint a masterpiece, and you are very inspired. All right, let's see if you can make it happen. Okay. Now I have mixed feelings about like I like the way they present stay at home or work from home work in this game. It's not really accurate to real life, but there's a lot of stuff in the Sims that, you know, wink wink nudge nudge waves your hand kind of thing. But the school one I actually kind of appreciate because there's a lot of ways that you can represent that in a way that's not good. And I don't know. It's the way homeschool here is in the US is not the way it is in most of the rest of the world. A lot of other places you can homeschool, but you are still required to have your kid go in to regular school as well. Or there'll be like a time split or something like that. Cool, masterpiece. And I actually think it is good to have a base level of school required personally. But me having a background in education, I've seen good homeschools, like there absolutely are, but I've seen probably for every good example, I've seen probably 5, 10 bad examples where like the parents just didn't do a half decent job of teaching them or anything, that the kids go into life completely woefully unprepared. Okay. Should Bronson invite her classmate? Sure. In their classmate, whatever. You want to brag about possessions? That's perfect. You see, there's this person coming by. So we'll check in with Zach, and then the very first thing we're gonna do the moment we check in is we're gonna go friendly, small talk, brag about possessions. You know, you're gonna get some leftovers. And you're gonna go sleep. It's Friday, so it's your weekend. So we have all the time in the world to knock out the homework and all that. So we're good there. Admire possessions is usually pretty easy. I don't believe I can, here, we'll sign an autograph. Keep that fame up. I don't believe we can discuss fine cuisine with a child. Alright, we have fulfilled our need for some social interaction. We'll untick that. And go ahead and make more paintings. You actually, okay. I was like, you're actually eating or you're just standing there? Alright, eventually I'm going to want to use a handy thing, because I believe one of the upgrades you can do on almost everything is unbreakable. But, Penny doesn't like handiwork, and Bronson can't do it yet as a child. We already have one of those, so we can go ahead and knock out another. That's the wrong attitude with that talk. I have no idea what that's in response of context with. Stream delay and all that. Let's see. Hey, Benny, I've been thinking about getting to know Angela. Sure. Go introduce yourself to other people. With a handicap? Oh yeah, I mean in real life, you know, you can teach your kid, you know, all sorts of stuff. Like I remember having like a little toolbox and all that. But in the game, they just the way the game works mechanically, it is considered an adult activity. So until they're a teenager, they can't do it. But I remember as a kid making like a little birdhouse and, you know, doing like little stuff around the house. But just not how this game works. To be fair, I do think there is a balance that there should be certain things that kids aren't allowed to work on, and certain things they should be able to for just practicality / balance reasons. Alright, so we got a ghost visiting. Are you making a mess of my house? I guess she's gone already. Alright, I'll throw that back away. Remember holding up a flashlight and being quiet while Pop Strider done something? Well, I wouldn't say at that point that you're working on that. Like, by all means, you're supporting getting stuff repaired, but as far as, like, the kid being able to repair stuff on their own kind of thing. But I would be totally fine with the game that, like, you could do some very simple things to get, like, a point in handiness or two. But as far as, like, doing, like, proper repairs, like, plumbing and that stuff as, like, a child, I can see where it's like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Not that no kid ever isn't capable of that or whatever. Like, that's not true. But just for the game balance mechanics kind of thing. Also not a clean AC drain line? Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. I do think there is, like, if they want to, and I don't think it's actually important, where you look at, like, you look at these kind of skills here, that it would make sense to have maybe some other skill in here, I don't know, like Tinkerer or something, that it doesn't equate exactly to, like, handiness or whatever, but just, like, a generic, like, craftiness so far as, like, being able to work on stuff. I think that would be decent. Oh yeah, straight right. I've done my AC line. Yeah, like Maker. So it'd be, you know, like simple sewing, you know, like minor crafting kind of things. Like simple sewing, you could have art kind of stuff maybe. Well, the art already has creative. Um like simple sewing kind of thing, like basic woodworking, that kind of thing. Like you're probably not going to have your 8-year-old jump up on like a commercial wood lathe or something. That's a good way of someone getting hurt. Because for one, it's not the right height or anything for a child, which would make it difficult to use safely. Okay. And we need to add transitions, add effects, edit the video, and then upload. So we can get our royalty check. Yeah, so I could see something where, again, they would have access, like, robotics. They wouldn't be able to do, like, the full-on robotics kind of thing. Maybe that's something that unlocks as a teenager, but as, like, a child, they could have, you know, a couple points in Maker, but not actually get the robotics skill. A commercial's clothing lathe. You don't lathe clothes? A lathe is the thing you put your medium on and it spins it real fast. And then, you know, you'd introduce a tool to start going. It's for making, like, columns and all sorts of things. Things are usually round. There's different stuff you can do. Like, you can make spatulas now with it. Sounds like a DLC problem. Nifty knitting, sewing, parenthood, school projects. Yeah. I can see kind of the thing of, like, introducing the whole thing. Because, like, the idea of, you know, having your 8-year-old go in and start fixing the electrical on a radio, it's like, maybe not. And yes, I do understand there are kids out there in the real world who do end up being able to do that kind of stuff. But from like a more generalized balance of the game kind of thing, you do want some stuff that separates adults from children to not make children, you know, mini adults for all, you know, mechanically. But I could see having minor things that the kids could fix themselves. It is interesting that supposedly we're editing the video that we've already uploaded. Like, it did it out of order for some reason. Oh yeah, you want to admire a possession? That's fine. I'll have you paint something. Oh, here, let's actually have you bathe first. But I could see that being a thing. Alright, so you upload the video. You're good energy-wise. Let's begin a stream. You've done piano, you've done the organ. We'll have you sing this time. Alright. Then after you knock out a bath, you'll paint something, then you'll admire your work. Oh, it is time that Penny no longer needs to sleep ever again. Penny doesn't believe in that sleep. That sleep is weakness. That sleep just interrupts your ability to get things done. Okay. I still haven't decided what I'm putting on up there. Like, most of the rest of the property is full, but I got an open spot here I could do something with. Like, I don't want to just, like, expand the hedge maze over here. So I've got, like, the little area for, like, the rocket and whatnot. I feel like there's something I can fit over there. I'm half expecting that later on there'll be something that comes up that introduces some need I'll have to take care of. Okay, so you're done dealing with that. You've done your stream for today. So get your leftovers. You'll have to figure out some social. So you admire your new possession and then sell it. Guest house for the maid. The maid can't stay on your property unless you, like, actually bring someone in as a member of the family to be a maid. Which, I don't really want to introduce a whole bunch of different pawns to the house. I'm not looking to have a house that has, like, 20, 30 people. Basketball or skating? Does it fit? They do have those. We could certainly add something like that. I'm not sure if there's enough space there. We'll find out. So activities, sport. So you have ice ring, roller ring, ice rings. Oh, I take that back. Oh yeah, no, they have basketball court here. We'll of course put right up to the property edge. That way we accidentally throw the ball into the neighbor's property all about the time. What about another kid? I mean, I'm going to be focusing on Bronson in not too long. Where's the actual basketball hoop? Is the hoop separate? Guess it is. I have that backwards. Technically, that should be back one more. Because the hoop should be on the edge of the court. Okay. One other thing I do is we're not going to have it in the grass. What looks like an overly polished wood ground? Like, you want it to look super duper polished. None of those really fit. It's fine. This will be good enough. Can I put a border on it in some way? You know what? It's fine. Do we have some lights we can put over it? Like some, like, big stadium kind of light? Something your neighbor would absolutely despise having. Hmm. There's... Alright, so there's those in-ground lights, and then there's the bigger ones. You definitely not want these in an actual basketball court. Because you could trip on them and everything else. Why won't you let me build that? Oh, it's trying to build on the second floor. And we'll go ahead and go like this. We'll grab you. Oh, that's why. I'm set to look at that top floor. Alright, so we will grab you. That's not what I wanted to do. It's I'm clipping with the tree. I feel like there should be some shrubbery or something here. Not like full-on trees, like bushes or something. Make a little garden spot over here. Which I could probably put a bench in here. We're just making like a little area to be like nice out here. So outdoor. The hardest seat to sit on. Ah, yeah, really selling me on that seat. Alright, we'll want to paint the ground in some manner or another. Nah. Is that actually gonna line up the way we want? That'll work. We'll need to put lights in here. Do we have a... any type of like kind of cool little light here? The orb torch. I've made it too compact. We'd have to do the recessed light. Alright, well that's something. Just add a little bit more to the property. There. We're pretty much using all of the ground space now. You're supposed to be playing with her for your social skill. Where are you? There you are. Alright. But yeah, no, the goal here is to work on Bronson. Like, maybe if, like, for something happens with Penny, or she ages out or whatever, like, you know, when I say ages out, she dies of old age. You know, maybe then we introduce a new person. I'm not sure I will, because I don't plan on playing The Sims on the channel for, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours or anything like that. So it's already having Bronson to try and achieve that goal, the Super Sim, might be too much of a time investment for what I plan on doing in the game. We'll see. We're going to pursue it. But I'm not looking to have, you know, where I have 5 different people with 5 different objectives going on that chaos. Like if I did something like that, it'd be directly from like the beginning going, hey, we're doing, 100 baby challenge or whatever the thing that we choose to do is. Um with that whole plan of being like overwhelmed by the chaos of that. On that said, I don't often do that kind of stuff where it's absolutely frenetic. Yeah, it can be well, stressful is one thing. That's certainly not wrong. Oh, you wanted to hang on, Bronson. You need to help your mom here. You actually need to have her win a game against you. It's fine. But yeah, now it can be chaotic, and then there's also no downtime. And that's actually one of the things that I don't mind streaming games with no downtime, but it becomes difficult to do because, then like grabbing a drink and using the restroom, I have to like really stop everything that's happening kind of stuff. And that could be a whole thing there. All right, good. So you're satisfied you got that knocked out. Let's go ahead and listen to your music. Then you're gonna go sleep. You, on the other hand, are gonna paint. Um, like that's one of the problems I ran into with Project Zomboid as well. I enjoy the game. Like the only way to have any kind of real downtime is to pause the game. There's no other way. Just because that game you make a single error, and then that's that. Hundreds of hours gone. Which I don't mind, but it gets very exhausting to stream like that. And there's a lot of games that fall into that category. That's one of the reasons I actually do like the city builders, settlement builders, those kind of things. Is you can hit a point where things stabilize, and you can take 2 seconds to like use the restroom without having to worry about the whole thing burning down around you the moment you turn away. That kind of stuff. Like that's actually one of the nice things. Like Satisfactory is a good game for that. That you can stabilize things. And the worst thing that can happen is you step away and like the power goes out because you overwhelmed your generator or whatever, and then you have to like kind of go back and like put the fuel back in everything, like kick it back over and all that. And yeah, it's inconvenient, but it's not that big a deal. Um, so it's nice to have those kind of games. Where are you going? Oh, did you finish that painting? Okay. I guess she just really wanted to play basketball. I mean, that's fine. Well, that's confusing. It's like she was gaining pain for just standing there. That's like she threw the basketball once and then she just stood there. It's like, yep, this is what I'm doing. What are you doing? Do I need to get rid of the basketball thing? Is it like bugged and like forcefully stopping her from doing that? Because she has no negative stuff and the painting's not done. But she's doing like one tick of this, then stopping painting, going, oh, I need to go for a shot. It might be that this is meant for no, it seems okay. If it's something that you keep like canceling out and going to do that, I'd just get rid of it. Because there's definitely a lot of stuff in this game that has a little bit of jank and a little bit of bug. You can begin a stream. Get practice piano because you can't play guitar yet. That's something you're not allowed to do for some reason. Which I find weird. All right. You finished your painting? What are you doing? The basketball court might be going away. It seems to be glitchy. Like it'd be fine if she had like a mood break or something. Like, oh, I get it. You know, she's not having enough fun. She's upset and she's gonna go play games. That's cool. But the fact that she keep does like a tick of painting and then decides to do something else. All right.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So we need 7 more thousand to get that aspiration going. All right. So what are we doing to get a quick 7,000 in the property value? Um, we can make whatever this room's gonna be. I still don't know what that's gonna be though. Is there anything obvious activities wise we can make that room? Um, oh, you can actually do right beer. A bowling alley? Do they have bowling? No, I don't have bowling at all. That's not a thing I can do. Um, there's also literally no wine in the game at all. Um, so I don't think we can do either of those, unfortunately. And one thing we're definitely going to do, let's go ahead and put a room here. Okay, so what am I making this room? So it's gonna need a door. Maybe make it like a sauna of some kind? Alright. I mean, it's a very inconvenient... Not a sauna, because I'll probably make the sauna up by where the exercise room is later. We can do something like that. But what we can do... Make it like a massage room or whatever. Where are you? Not stone. Here we are. Hey, how's it going, Pronger? Let's go ahead and grab some lights for it. Go for an overhead light, maybe. Let's try the wall lights. No, the overhead lights were like really screaming for me. Um, oh, actually, put you up here. We'll grab you. Oh, can do. What we'll do is we'll grab one of these. So that'll give us light on that side. Alright, so we've got the room itself built. Now I just gotta figure out what the heck I'm putting in it. No, because the windows and all that's still showing all that. Alright, so what is going in here? Let's check our activities and see if there's anything obvious there. We already got the music stuff. We already have multiple bars in the property that nothing stands out there. Oh, we should have a dartboard for in here. Alright. All-in-one styling salon? Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Nothing standing out there in a big way. We've already got gym up top, so that's not going to do us much good there. We don't have the gardening stuff. A workshop? Yeah, that's one of the things I was debating was we had the woodworking thing, moving it down here. I don't know what else I'd put in here though. Because like the woodworking one, sure, we have the woodworking. I think it's actually literally just tucked behind the building here somewhere. No, actually, it's not tucked behind the building. It's in the maze. Yeah, so definitely, I could see it being a workshop. We can go up here, grab the robotics table. That's not what I wanted to do. It's fine. I think it put it back. Grab the fabricator. I need to go through and correct the short, or not correct, but change the shortcut keys to this. So it's not as big of a hassle. I did it again. Because I have to switch between... Oh my goodness, please. Controlling the camera or being able to rotate stuff. And it's just those things. I just need to go into the controls and fix it, so... Because I don't use QWERTY. And this game is kind of like half and half working with that. Alright, so let's start with that down here. The big point of that was to start increasing the value of our property. We can actually scooch you over here as well now. We got more space. But I need to bolster the monetary value of our place. Hmm. Let's put a radio down there just because we can. Tuck it over here in the corner. We go to electronics. There's a little bit more spend. So we got a little workshop here, so that'll be good. We'll end up expanding more into the property later. Oh, I know one thing we could do. How big is the ice skating ring? Because we're going to put an ice skating ring in the basement. I can't think of a thing that makes it sound more like this person has just entirely too much money than having their own, like, ice skating ring in the basement. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so that's a little too big. A roller skating ring, that's still too big. Deluxe roller skating ring. Deluxe. Aw, you can't put it underground. Come on. That's no fun. Can I put the boat down here? Well, that's a big bummer. What happens if I try and put a pool down here? Does that even work? It does. It does work. Okay. Interesting. Now I'm not sure what to put down here. We basically have all the activities we'd want to do down here. Like, we've got almost all the activities that we have unlocked. There's a couple we can't do yet because we haven't gotten enough skill or whatever in various things. Wait, can I put the playground down here? Oh, you can. Oh, you can go many floors deep. Oh, that's interesting. They used to not have that. Okay. That's interesting. They can go like 3 basements deep or whatever. Well, look. I don't know what I'm putting in here yet. Put like the lemonade stand here. Like, I can't put hardly anything in here. Oh, the green screen makes sense I can't put in there. Yeah, okay, so it is working. It's just not much you can put in there. Kids. Let's see. Decorations. What are we still missing that's complaining about? Got a bunch of vines. A bunch of just random stuff. Hmm. I'm gonna go with the strategy. We're just deleting that room. It doesn't exist. It never existed. I don't know what you're talking about. Figure something else out there. Like, I'll end up putting another room down here. Let's see. You can make your sim Lear play a guitar to earn money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, you can. All right. So I need to make the property worth more, and I'm just waffling on what I actually want to do to expand on this. More gardens for later. Now here, is there a water feature that we want to put on that's got some value? I mean, the one big problem with a lot of the water features is they'll need to be outside, or they're giant. And I can't imagine I'd be able to put that down there. Look, game. If I choose everything and go to the end, what is the most valuable things? Alright, so we don't really need anything there. Yeah, so a lot of these would be for businesses we could do that kind of stuff. There's a lot of business things that we haven't put to use or whatever. So surfaces aren't going to help us much, activities aren't helping us much, decorations. What are the most valuable decorations? Something I could burn some real money on? Oh, jeez. I'm assuming those are all decoration pieces. Yep, those are all decoration pieces, and they already dropped below 1,000. A crime map. A cart of video equipment? That's fine. Um, there's so many things here. there anything ridiculously valuable here? Not really. So the electronics, the appliances, or anything amazing in the appliances that we're overlooking this whole time? We have vending machines. Ah, yeah, let's put some vending machines on property. Where do we want to put the vending machines? Where feels like the most vending machine place? I could put them... Oh, where'd be good put the good place to put it? You know what? Because the doors, it won't fit there. I was gonna put like vending machines right there. Imagine this won't work either. No. Um, because it would have made sense to have them by the bathroom. Here, what I could do? Let's see. And we have more vending machines. Because why not? Actually, shrink that back down to this size. And then we'll also, just because, we'll put a dumpster here. Oh, this is Narwhal's. There's a lot of stuff that it won't let you put inside at all, which is a little annoying. Oh, that's just thing for there. Mailboxes, grills, cauldron, the cafe, cupcake factory. Like, there's so much I cannot build inside. It's so weird. Oh, here, we'll put a picnic bench. Oh, that was outdoor seating, wasn't it? Comfort, outdoors. No, it wasn't. Where was that located? There wasn't an outdoor category. There we go. Oh, why can't I? Oh, because of how much space the vending machines take. That's fine. Alright, and we can go ahead and put up the wall here. Alright, so we got vending machines inside our place now. Let's add a little bit more value. How are we doing so far as our mine now? That was enough. Alright. So, Penny has completed her aspiration. Trait earned thrifty. Okay. So she has maxed out on having the nicest property. What happens if we go for fabulously wealthy? Oh, well, that'll be easy. So now we just need money on reserve. And that gave her 2,000. Cool. Oh, was that something broken down there? That's fine. Alright. And meanwhile, what are you doing down here? This is Saturday night, so you're still good. Yeah, so she finished her first aspiration. That's cool. You want to gain a level in piano skill. That's what you were working on. That's right. What you're right about to do. Then we can stop the stream. You can eat some food. You can cut a video. We will need you to cook some food. Alright. Bacon wrapped asparagus, sure, why not? He's already level 7 in piano and he's still just a kid. And it's not like I focused on that. He's skills are split between a whole bunch of things. He's like 6 at violin, he's 7 at piano, he's 6 at singing, going on 7. He's 5 at pipe organ, he's 4 at that. Alright. Where did Penny go? I forgot. They weirdly decided to put stuff in that other room. What are you doing? You're browsing the vending machine. And you're eating a Terry Mayo hot dog. Fair enough. Alright, well that took care of that need, I guess. Attempt mental telepathy. Sure. Aw. Your entire recording studio had a problem. So comment on your videos. You do not have a video already made, so record a new video. An intellectual vlog. Sure, why not? Put away the food. You had to turn off thunderstorms. I saw a bolt of lightning strike a cat while I was waiting for the Sims pet to go check it. Get a checkup? Oh, that's deeply upsetting. Alright. So it does make me wonder. Yeah, so practicing darts. I'm pretty sure darts isn't a skill within itself, but we can check. It might be. I might just be blissfully unaware this whole time that there's been a dart skill. It could also be under something else. I don't know what it'd be under, though. Add effects. Add transitions. Edit the video. Place your broken keyboard again. Alright. And once all that's done, we'll upload the video. I am curious that if we haven't played darts, if there's like a dart skill or because part of it's like, okay, I could see it being athletics because it's muscle memory and everything, but that's usually in The Sims, you know, athletics is stuff that's like weightlifting and cardio. Logic wouldn't be a good fit. Oh, what are you doing that you're gaining mischief? Oh, you're trolling on the internet. Alright, so upload your video. Throw a couple of darts and see if you have any type of skill box over top. Well, you definitely see qualifying for motor skill for a kid, but we're already maxed out in that. Or movement or whatever they call it. I think it's motor skill. Hey, we might get an award. Alright, so it doesn't look like we literally get anything. That's kind of what I figured. Is that it's just a fun activity. It could be maybe as an adult we would gain more stuff, but as a kid we don't. Alright. You want to discuss fine cuisine and make a new friend. Hey, person in the neighborhood.
Hibbs.
There we go. Bestie's introduction.
The samba. The Rual.
And you want to discuss fine cuisine.
I'll move.
Dag dag.
So I can figure out where that is.
Uh-huh.
Friendly hobbies.
Bruges. Oh. Oh.
Under hobbies.
So.
Interests is a separate section.
Spinay.
Discuss fine cuisine.
Hey. Oh. Zilnoy.
Okay, and then after that,
Lamina Galfalati.
Pinguna.
Nulis.
Oh, Pampini.
Shishay.
we'll just
Uh-huh.
chit chat.
Bruges.
Okay, someone else is saying goodbye? Okay.
Rinish.
Cool, so you made a friend, so we're done talking to you.
Yibs.
Yibs.
Miwa.
Alright, so listen to music. I was trying to remember. There was a thing where you could convince them to change careers. I wish it was easier to tell what stuff would be where on the wheel and all that. Like, I understand you play the game and you just, like, memorize it or whatever. I don't remember half the time. Alright, so you need to go to sleep. Once you're done with your food. You want to become playful. Become playful. Alright, so people are constantly asking, should we hit on people, or should they hit on people and all that. Good way to become playful. Alright, making almost 3,000. Almost 3,000 now from the royalties from the videos. Man, I wish content creation was even remotely that lucrative. Hey, Lulutor. I'm doing pretty good. Alright, so we're quickly getting through this. It's interesting that now, like, the goal is to just... to just basically have money in the bank, like, just to have extra money. Which shouldn't be too hard to do. We have 2 people are making a pretty okay income now. Alright. So you, when you wake up, do your homework. Alright. And I did mention at the beginning of the stream, I haven't decided what I'm doing for the second half of the stream because usually I switch games halfway through, and we're nowhere near that time, to be clear. We still have like 2 hours to that point. But I am debating because like we've got Satisfactory going, we've got Terraria going, but I kind of feel like I want to do a one-off kind of day where we play a game because we want to play it and just do something like just off the wall kind of thing, knowing it won't be a thing that sticks around. Just like pop in, play it. I've debated doing something like Halls of Torment for a little while. If I did Halls of Torment, it'd probably be like an hour or two of that, and then switch on to something else because I don't think that's a game you can really stream for like 6, 7, 8 hours without seeming extremely repetitive. Um, I could see doing something like, I don't know. It's been hard to decide. I've also been getting a little self-conscious that it does seem like not as many. Did you try Novalands? I did. It was pretty good. Had some strong Forager vibes. We played that on the channel, yeah. The demo, or was it the demo? It may have been the full version. Either way, we played it. That's the key point. Yeah, because it definitely feels like people aren't... What are you doing? Oh, that's not what I care about. Finish your painting. That half court might go away because she keeps stopping what she's working on doing it. It's like Forager X a very, very light Factorio. Yeah. Let's see, dial back to your earlier question. You can only play one household at a time, so if Bronson moves out, Penny will become autonomous. You can just switch back and forth freely, but overall she'll do her own thing, including potentially getting married and having more kids. Yeah. That's kind of what I was worried about with that kind of thing. But I am starting to wonder if, like, okay, so your homework's complete, so you're up. And you're good there. Let's have you knock out a stream. Hey, Infinity Simplex. How's it going? There's one thing I want to check real fast that is unrelated to the game. The game's still playing, right? I can't tell. Do you still work when I Alt-Tab real fast? So you're at the bottom of the stairs. Let's see what happens. I can't see it all to know one way or the other. Yeah, no, the game seems to pause when I Alt-Tab out. I wanted to check real fast. I should actually have that closed before the browser automatically does some. I want to check some numbers real fast, because I don't know. I feel like the viewership is going down from the Sim streams, which isn't surprising. We kind of hit a spot where it's getting a little repetitive. That you see the place keep expanding and growing, and that's a lot of fun. But it is those things that, you know, it does make you nervous about that. Trying to check some real fast. It's not gonna be so I can reasonably check while on stream. I was just curious to see if I like looking at my channel by itself when I was watching The Sims like 4 viewership, like what was happening with it. To see if like people were generally losing interest, because I don't know, it's really hard to gauge stuff because there's stuff that happens that on your channel, like you make decisions and it impacts your viewership, and there's all sorts of outside stuff you just cannot quantify realistically. That also impacts things, and it's really hard to kind of make informed decisions a lot of times. Why do you keep stopping painting? Okay. Alright, so your drone is about out of battery, so we'll cancel that. You want to listen to music, so we'll have you do that. Maybe sell your masterpiece. So I'm hoping having her troll the forums will get her to be playful. You want to level up at piano? Fair enough. Alright. You decide to only play Bronson, you can use some console commands to give Penny some flags like no marriage, no pregnancy. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be those things that she'll automatically like do a bunch of stuff, it might be one of the things if I do separate it out to just playing Bronson, that'll effectively like we'll put a bow on Penny's run that, because at this point with the rags to riches, I mean, other than just giving her more money, like we're building stuff just to build stuff now. Like we've kind of filled up the entire ground level of the property. We've got multiple buildings going on. We've got this basement that's growing, and I can make multiple layers of new basement and all that kind of stuff. Actually, can I? Oh no, I can't. I'd have to go here. Like I can make multiple levels more basement, and I believe we've hit the maximum level height-wise we can go. But it's kind of one of those things that doesn't feel as meaningful anymore. She literally has every activity. So it's one of those things, and this is probably me being a person who is not in like ridiculous wealth where I'm like, oh no, I need my 3 different bars and all that. If she makes the elder, she'll stop having kids, but she can still find take partners. Yeah, I think that'd be fine though. It's I've hit the point with like the rags to riches thing where I'm like, okay, like literally if I build on it, I'm building on it to just build, which again that feels like a thing that actual wealthy people do. We're like, oh, I have 4 yachts, but why? Was one not enough? That you just kind of look at, they just kind of do stuff to do stuff after a while. And it's feeling like it's getting to that point where I'm like, what the heck do I even come up with to build other than just like duplicating a room or whatever? Because like we have our own speakeasy, we got this like little witchcraft room, we got like our own little like vending machine area, we've got public restrooms, a recording studio, a work room, a pool, like our own art gallery in the basement. We've got what is like a really, really nice normal house. We've got a guest house on it. We've got our own private gym. We've got a hedge maze. It just kind of feels like, but why? Give Penny an end goal and retire her? Like buying her own retirement home? I don't even know what would be a good goal for that. Because I don't play The Sims enough to really have a good feel for like what is reasonable, what is all that. Alright, so go ahead and have you eat. You need to get some social handled. That would be hard to do. By default, played households are excluded from autonomy like that. You can enable or even install mods to assist simulation. What are you working on? Alright, so you're basically done with your food. So we'll have them play chess together so we can get more logic skill on Bronson. And this is actually kind of one of my worries, is that as long as it's going to take me to actually finish maxing everything out, kind of my fear is that people will lose interest in the run, which, that happens. I wish there's an easy way to check this. I want to see if there's a quick way I can check one thing real fast. I probably shouldn't be doing this while on stream because it'll take me a minute. But I'm getting self-conscious and it's gonna stay on my mind until until I verify or refute kind of the information. That's for everyone. I don't know. I can't get the information I'm looking for. You're having problems where some of your Sims kept marrying into other families, and that was playing without mods. Your own enthusiasm seems to be lacking, as it's obvious you're more daunted by the chore of making a super sim than anything. Well, to be genuine about the concern, it's the thing that's getting to me isn't how much is going to go in it. The concern is basically it's effectively numbers of viewing that I have noticed in general. The Sims 4 streams, the amount of viewership has been kind of, it's been going down, but not like at a very obvious rapid thing. So it's one of those things that you're going, okay, is this in my head or is it actually a thing that's happening? It's just kind of trying to look at that type of thing. So it is a thing that has been a problem on the channel in the past, that when I play something, because that was back when like I played a lot of Project Zomboid. If I played something that was not Project Zomboid, it would do really well one stream, then do okay, then it wouldn't do good, then it'd be terrible, then it'd be awful. And so it kind of was this thing that I had to rotate the other games a lot. Because it's like there was the hey, I haven't seen Rual play this before, that's interesting, okay, but I'm not actually interested in this game. It's kind of that type of issue. And it does feel like The Sims might be falling into that. Alright, so we need to research cooking techniques. And I think part of it is, like, very genuinely, we're in this cycle of her painting all the time, and then Bronson just knocking out skills that's probably just not the greatest for viewership in general. So it's not so much the fun, like, that kind of thing. It is trying to be strategic and make good decisions for the health of the channel. And just dealing with... Because it could also be stuff like, you know, TwitchCon just ended, so a bunch of people who were away for TwitchCon have now just come back, so a whole bunch of people who haven't seen, you know, their favorite content creator, or just curious about TwitchCon are probably tuning into a lot of that. It's, like, really hard to gauge that kind of stuff. At the same time, you know, it could also be that the numbers were a bit higher than they should have been. So it says, Project Zomboid still does decently for some streams, mostly to garner to a new audience from Project Zomboid interested viewers who have lost Project Zomboid streamer. It's a hard situation since you were a pretty solid Project Zomboid streamer and probably maxed out the viewers of Power Project Zomboid. Yeah, well that was the thing. Oh no, don't skip class. That was the thing with Project Zomboid, is I was hitting the point that when I would stream, I'd usually be in like the top 3, and a lot of times by the time a rap stream, I was like the top viewership stream there. And it was just one of those things that very genuinely, I was getting to the point with the stream that I wasn't getting like any net new followers per stream and all that a lot of the time. Because there's just not many new people getting into Project Zomboid, because there's not been something to draw people in a while. You occasionally have someone like, I know the a week or so ago, Sequisha was streaming Project Zomboid, which, you know, gives a little bump for a very short duration. But then it usually falls off real fast. Because that can actually be a problem for you as a content creator. If you're like the #1 viewed person in a category, that you kind of max out your growth potential in that category sometimes. Like, it depends. Like, if you're the #1 viewed one there and you're at like 100 viewers and the category pulls in 2,000 viewers, you're probably fine. But, like, I would have the streams at the end of the day that I would have like 100-something viewers, and then you look at the category and there'd be 200 viewers. There's like no growth opportunity for me there, kind of thing. Like, you know, the people who want to watch it are already watching it. And so that could be a problem, because as people lose interest in the game, which has happened, we had a bunch of people who, you know, the moment I stopped playing Project Zomboid, started showing up again. It's just, you know, they've been watching Project Zomboid for a long time, and they just, you know, they were done with it. People's interests change. I also was genuinely burning out in the game, because I have played a ridiculous amount of Project Zomboid. It's a great game, but I mean, playing every day, not every day, that's overstating it. Playing, you know, the number of hours I end up playing gets to be a lot. Alright. Like, that's the thing that's happened to a whole lot of people in the category. Like, I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to call people out or anything. Like, not call them out, because that would imply it's a negative thing. There's been a number of people who are content creators in the category of Project Zomboid who are still doing it, who are like, you know, they're like, I am so past burnt out with this game. It's like, but they're scared to death the moment they stop playing, their channel will die, because it's all they've ever done in their channel, or almost all they've ever done in their channel. And that's always the fear of being like a one game content creator, is your channel lives and dies by that game. Yeah. Man, Foxman was saying it's a legit worry. The Sims is the same issue with RimWorld, where folks aren't there at the beginning of the calling run. It's hard time to connecting with the gameplay. Yep, it makes a lot of sense. It's hard being strategic. I heard of a variety streamer who lost followers playing Diablo 4, and you start worrying. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's that when it comes to strategic thing, that's one of the pieces of advice, or not advice. One of the things that is a regular occurrence on the channel is someone will pop in the channel or like, oh, hey, hey streamer, it's like you should really check out whatever like the latest dropping game that like everyone is going to be playing. And it'll be like, it's got 64,000 viewers right now. Clearly that makes sense. Like, actually, that is how you kill your channel. Because there's a thing called oversaturation of a category, where basically you got a whole bunch of bigger names, and just, it's just really difficult to compete in a category that's got that many people. Because like for those who don't know, it's something that I've mentioned a number of times. Let's poke into this real fast. So this is a distraction away from The Sims for just a minute that don't automatically play audio. So let's stop automatically playing audio. I don't like it when that does that. If we were to look here, let me just go The Sims, and I know I'm not showing the screen yet. I'll get it there. I want to avoid showing other people's content. Like if we look at the category right now, with like The Sims. The Sims is a category that might make sense for me to play in. Because if you look at it, here's the Sims page when it's filtered by English. I'm in the 6th spot on that row, so I'm in the top row. Ideally, you want to be in these 3, but the top row is not bad. That gives me growth opportunity. People are actively playing this game. You have a decent number of people viewing this game, but I'm in a strategically decent place on this board, so that people who go in and say, I would like to see The Sims, there's a chance they might click on this stream and pop in brand new viewers. If we go to Project Zomboid, by contrast, we still have the same thing kind of here, that I would be able to position myself here, and there is people watching, but if you notice how high that number is, it's almost all this one person, and then by and large, it's going to be other languages. Now, if we go to something like Diablo 4, and we look at this, that we have a really big number, so you go, oh man, 38,000, clearly this makes sense. Except then we look at it and go, where am I on this page? Well, I'm not here. Actually, it would be positioned not too, like, it'd still be bad, but I'd be positioned somewhere in this ballpark. But kind of the rule of thumb when you're dealing with this type of stuff is you have like this top row is where you really want to be, ideally in one of these 3. If you're in one of these 3 places, you're in a really, really good place. The top row is okay. This is not great. Anything that's below, and I should probably have this shrunk to about that size, because that'll be closer to what most people have on their screen. If you're below this bar where I have to scroll, that's known as below the fold. You basically don't exist on this page. You're not going to get any growth whatsoever. So for me to be in this category, I'm down here somewhere. It's useless to me. I'm going to get like maybe 1 or 2 click-throughs is about the most I could hope for on there, which is not enough to get any meaningful progress. So it is one of those things you have to watch. You also don't want to be in that, like, again, in that top category where you're individually like 70-80% of the viewership of that category, because it means realistically you're not getting anyone new popping in to check on your stream, because there's just not people looking for it. Let's see, Diablo 4 is toxic. Imagine a lot unfollowed just because of the game. I mean, maybe not. I didn't personally play Diablo 4, mostly because I didn't get a key, and for the price is like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, this game is heckin' expensive. And it would not make any strategic sense for me to play that on the channel, because again, I would be just so far on the game's page. Or to give you another example, another game that I've been kind of... Why are you sad? Oh, it's just a bummer school day. Okay, that's fine. So let's have you listen to the radio. Take yourself a bath. You will have to wait till she can make some food. Make garlic noodles. I think because now I hate Blizzard. Because I now hate Blizzard? Gotcha. Never watch you for the banter, the chillness, unless it absolutely cannot tolerate game, which is rare. Yeah. You didn't buy it either. You had a friend having fun. He owed me a game. It's fun, but it's built like a clicker game. Yeah, I looked at it and it looked fine from what I saw. From what I've heard from a lot of people is it kind of falls off. That you have fun for a little while and then you're like, okay, I've done the thing. You don't buy it for religious reasons? That's fine. I'm aware, Strider. Okay, it's really kind of hoping Penny will, like, I was gonna have Penny cancel, like, oh right, you're actually doing a tournament right now. But it is one of those things. But like for another example of kind of the reverse is here. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna bring it up again. If we go to, you do like Penny's hat? That was deliberate. I was going for something kind of like Venus. But like on the other hand, there's the other side of this, which why isn't it? Is there no space? I guess just capital sensitive. On the other hand, there's games I would love to play that would be positioned. Like Space Haven is a game I'd love to check out again. But you see, here's the problem. Here's who's watching Space Haven right now. There's nobody. Literally nobody. And that's even when people are streaming it. Like, if you have like a big content creator, like they'll have their normal audience, and then the moment they leave, they go away. But if someone else pops in there, it's not like you see the numbers boost up. You'll have like a lot of streams you'll see pop into like games like Space Haven. Will be how many viewers do they have? 1. And that's like, okay, so I can't realistically make that work either. Do your homework first. How close are you to being done with your tournament? Alright. So it is difficult. It's actually one of those things that when you're first started streaming, hey, you made a little bit of money in the tournament. You almost made enough to get the thing. Alright. But it is those things that, like, when you're a really, really small streamer, like you're like trying to work in your first 5 viewers, that kind of thing, you can get away with playing some like really, really out there niche games that have next to no viewership. Because if you're the only one in that category, you're gonna get the viewers. And when you have like no viewership as your normal, getting 2-3 viewers is still a significant improvement. Whereas once you start getting over a certain size, you have to be mindful of like, here's how big my audience is. If I start playing a bunch of games well below that, it's going to hurt my channel and make it, shrink. Whereas if I play a bunch of games that are kind of like medium-ish size that I can kind of bully my way into the category, that gives me more opportunity to, find net new viewers and all that kind of stuff. Because no matter what you do, you are going to churn viewers at a regular basis. Because again, people's schedules change, their interests change. Maybe they're into the game that you're playing, maybe they're not into the game that you're playing. If you stay on the same game, you're going to have people who are no longer interested in that game that have moved on, that stopped viewing it. If you switch games, you're going to switch games, the people who are only interested in that past game you're playing are going to churn and they're no longer to view it. It's like, no matter what, there's going to be some level of churn. Oh, I can't do another tournament right now? I guess that's fair. I don't know about keeping that on this thing. We'll see. So it is, imagine that Penny is trolling Bronson online. Oh, you should put that away. The leftovers, I mean. So it is one of those things you always have to be mindset if you intend on doing this, like, for anything more than just streaming for the sake of streaming. Like, if you're doing this for any bit of, like, trying to survive on it or whatever, You just always have to have a growth mindset. Alright. You've already done your homework, you've already done all that. Which does mean there's a lot of strategy. And not just getting into like what you're playing on the channel. It is another thing, like the amount of effort that happens outside of stream between like posting content up on multiple platforms. That way, if like one day Twitch decides they're gonna make some toxic policy that alienates everyone, your channel doesn't die immediately with it. That you can pivot someplace else. It is generally kind of a unspoken rule that the way you grow on Twitch is to grow someplace else. That growing on Twitch is just not a thing directly. That's overstating and being unfair about it. All right, this basketball hoop has to go away because she keeps going out to this basketball hoop and then just standing there. I mean, it's not really fair in my opinion. The fact you have to grow off the channel, or sorry, I'm missing stuff with that. Oh. Was there a delete floor? Oh, there probably is. Probably like that. Nope, that's not how it works. You experience it as being true as a viewer. The idea that you have to grow your channel of Twitch. I stopped trying to find new channels followed due to the annoyance of difficulty of finding Twitch. Yep. And so it's like very genuinely you have to catch people. That's one of the reasons why I actually like doing the variety thing a lot. This is very annoying.
Thank you Noapo for subscribing for 10 months. Ooh wee ooh.
Hey, no, oh, that was a mistake. Don't do that. Okay. Hey, Noplo, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. I really do appreciate that continued support. It does mean a lot. I do hope you're enjoying your advertisement previewing as well as access to the emotes. Just making this front area greener. That's fine. But thank you for that. You've been subbed to the channel for 5 months, and I really do appreciate that continued support. It does mean a lot. And I hope you enjoy. Sorry, 10 months. It's a 5-month streak. 10 months you've been supporting the channel. My apologies. I do hope you're enjoying your advertising previewing as well as access to the emotes. And again, I really do appreciate that support. It does mean a lot. But yeah. Well, no, that's kind of the thing. You've heard OnlyFans can work? Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different thing. Like, I do Ko-Fi and Patreon and all that outside to try and help as well. But, like, that's kind of, at its root of it, it's an upsell thing. Like, you have your base content, and for extra money, you can do premium content. It doesn't have to be, like, I know the gist of OnlyFans is that, you can get all sorts of adult content, that kind of stuff, the stuff that Twitch doesn't allow, and there's certainly that side of it. But even then, like, outside of that, you still have people who do Patreon who do, like, vlogs and all sorts of other additional content, or they'll play certain games, or for their Patreons they'll do like challenges that that people can have them do and all that. And I probably should do stuff like that. It's always one of those things I get leery about, because like, okay, where do you draw the line? That because I don't want to make it to enjoy the content you have to pay for it, because yes, technically that's probably good for me from the business side of it. But I also don't want people to be left out because, they don't have money to throw around, kind of thing. Or they can't justify it. It doesn't even have to be that they don't have it. Because I remember being, a broke college student and all that, and how you just couldn't do tons of things because. That's like you get it, for stuff like that, but I don't know, it's really easy to step across the line where you're like, okay, you're doing what makes sense for monetization to have it interesting and fair and reasonable and all that kind of stuff. And then you also have it on the end where you feel like you're nickel and diming people, or like hitting them up for cash constantly. Like it's one of those things, and I don't blame people for doing this. That like someone has like their dishwasher well, the dishwasher's not good. They have like their washing machine breaks and they go, oh man, times are tough, like, and they put like the little bar on the bottom, like, help us buy a new dishwasher or washing machine or whatever. It's like, okay, you get it. Like, if this is their well-being. Well, that's the first time I've seen that one. Like, this is their like well-being, they need the money and they're trying to do a drive to help solve a problem that actually is a big problem for them. Even if I have that kind of thing, I don't want to do that because it feels like you're trying to not make people feel guilty, because again, I don't want to overstate it, but it's a thing that feels uncomfy for it. But there's been a lot of things that I've felt uncomfy about with stuff that, when I was taking like the first sponsorship, I felt really uncomfortable about. It's like, no, realistically, I have to do this if I'm going to financially survive. And like I did the energy drink thing for a while. That one didn't end up turning out that great. Like and it's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with the energy drink thing, but I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable pushing it, and therefore it doesn't do anything for me. So I stopped. Like it's still technically I'm a Rogue Energy partner and all that, but I don't have any of their branding up anymore. I don't do any of that because it's just like, yeah, it always felt weird. What am I gonna have you work on this time? Have you knock out some violin? Yeah, relying on pathos, you could potentially make everything feels weird. Potentially make everything. Relying on pathos can potentially make everything feel weird. Yeah, but it's one of those things that, like, right now on Twitch especially, Twitch Twitch needs to make some adjustments to how it handles creators. Because, like, they do the whole 50-50 split for subs and all that. And, like, half of their decisions are, like, trying to draw you to do all your financial stuff in Twitch. But then they take such an extremely hostile cut to it that it's just, like, conventional wisdom to how do you do full-time content creation on Twitch? Well, you do as much as you can to move where you make your revenue off Twitch, because Twitch is so unreasonable on lots of its stances with that. Like, the 50-50 split is uniquely awful. That if you look at, TikTok, you look at YouTube, you look at Kick, you look at everyone else, and they all have a better cut. It'll be like, oh, but we're the largest platform, and they are, but then you go, right, but everyone's doing Patreon, everyone's doing Ko-Fi, everyone's asking for donations, because that's what they have to do to survive. Let's see, Luthor says, last time I was on a stream, dude had a bar to pay for his $3,000 debt to start over, and the reason behind the debt was at best wacky, at least to me, so it felt weird and legit unfollow something. Yeah, so like that's another thing, like, okay, yeah, that is one that I would not feel comfortable with. Like, and that's just me. But like, again, I do understand, like, I know a number of people, they would like to go to TwitchCon as creators, and they say, hey, I can't justify this. If I can raise X dollars, I'll go to TwitchCon or wherever. Like, that's something they do. And for the record, I am going to TwitchCon. But like, and I get it. If you can't financially justify it, be like, hey, if you want to see me there, like, this is a way you can make it happen. And I don't fault anyone for doing that. I don't even think it's a bad thing to do. Just, for me, it's uncomfortable. I'm gonna just make all our grass green. I'm concerned. Oh, I see. If I do that, it'll pull up the pond and everything. I don't want to deal with it. Okay. Yeah. It was like, dude had like $1,300 a month apartment. I was like, why do you do that if you struggle to make ends meet? I mean, it can also depend on where you live. Like, there are some places that you live for various reasons that you kind of need to stay in that area, that's just the cost of an apartment. Yeah, no, Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is not where I'm at right here, but very close to me. There are places that is just what it costs, and you'll have a whole bunch of like, well, if it's that expensive, don't live there. It's like, right, but that's where all the jobs are here, so that's just kind of how it is. If you want to get a job, you have to go to a place that's expensive to live, but then it's expensive to live, so that's kind of the problem. That's been something that's been mostly true forever. Cheerful blog. And it's expensive to move. Oh yeah, that was always the one, when some like it doesn't matter like why, but people are like, well, if things aren't go here, you should just move away. It's like, oh good. Do you have any idea how much it costs to leave a place? Like, even if you ditch all of your stuff so you don't need a moving van, it's still ridiculously expensive. Like, moving is expensive. Moving is really hecking expensive. A person who can't afford their situation is probably not going to be able to afford to move. But yeah, no, I get it. It's like I genuinely agree in the sense that it can feel very uncomfortable. Like, especially if someone's like, oh, been really sick lately. I need to get this surgery to save my life. And you're like, oh man, like I get a person absolutely doing that. Like, you've got to take care of yourself kind of thing. But at the same time, you feel like you're kind of getting beaten up by the person's like, am I a terrible person if I don't donate to this person who's dealing with this like life-saving surgery and all that? And also, I don't know if that's true. And I generally am someone who will assume, it's one thing. It's like it's a panhandler walking around kind of thing, but I will assume, generally speaking, the person's probably telling the truth. And I know there'll be people argue it's like, no, people always. It's like, no, I generally try and assume the best of people. You can look at life where you assume everything's a negative or everything's a positive. I would rather go with the positive until proven negative kind of thing. And it's worked out real well for me. In France, 1300 is like a big place in Paris. 1300 is like a big place in Paris? Really? I would have assumed it was not that impressive. Because if that's the case, then that's actually not bad. Because I know a lot of cities over here in the U.S. like you don't even need to get to like major, like usually the meme is like, well, San Francisco and New York City, but you don't even need to get like that big. Like you don't need to get to like major cities. It's like 800 euro. Gotcha. Yeah, no, over here in the U.S., there's lots of places that like getting like a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment is gonna run you over $1,000, and you're not talking like the best positioned one or anything. And don't get me wrong, you can go out a ways and then cut that down by 10, 20, 30%, but then you have to have a car which has its own expensive with insurances and all that. So it's kind of like, okay, do you pay it in the rent or do you pay it in your car insurance and then purchasing a car and everything? Yeah, 2.1, yeah, 1,400 square feet's a pretty big place. You get like 100 meters square for less than $1,000, in basically any major city suburbs. Yeah, and again, the only problem then is transportation into the city to do your job, because that's usually where the work is. A lot of work is in the city itself, so far as the better paying stuff. Um, yeah, so it varies wildly. But yeah, like I live near a big city, but we're talking not New York or anything. We're talking Central Florida. I live near, like, because I've said I live in Central Florida, and so we have what's referred to as the Greater Orlando metro area. Um, and it's not even ranked that high in cost of living, and you can get cheaper places, but usually if you're going to be within a reasonable distance of where you work, where you don't have to jump in a car and get stuck in traffic for long hours, it ends up costing you a lot. And then you'll have people push back. It's like, oh, well, then just live farther away and drive in. It's like, well, right. But then you have to include the purchase of a car, which means a car payment if you're someone in that situation, and your car insurance. And a lot of times, the moment you include those, it eats up all that benefit of not paying the rent. And it's one of those things, and people will argue one way or the other. And Like, it's not trying to get a nuance of which strategy is better and all that. It's just, it ends up, no matter what you pay. Especially since we basically don't have public transportation here on a meaningful level. Yep, car insurance, gas, traffic, maintenance. It adds up fast. There's a reason why, I can't remember, it's 57 cents to the mile or 60-something cents to the mile is the average cost for driving a car these days. And it's not because of, like, hyperinflation or anything like that. That is even before all that. And that includes the cost of the car, the cost of maintenance, the cost of gas, all of those things. That's what it usually averages out. Because it can be good to, like, think of it that way when you're going, okay, do you want to go do this thing? Well, that's going to be 140 miles by the time we go back and forth. Do we really want to punk down, $100 to do that? Just to go, not counting the activity? And the answer can be yes. But when you start thinking about it that way, it's much easier to, like, budget that kind of stuff. Does the DFW Metro expensive? But people call it cheap for most cities? Yeah. Cool. So yeah, their date that went well. Really pretty much have to have a car. Yeah, that's another problem with a lot of the US is it's hard to not have a car. Where I'm at, if you were like downtown Orlando, like right in downtown Orlando, where things are particularly expensive, you could probably get away without a car, but anything shy of that, you're going to need a car. Like, that's just, there's not a way to work around it. You're just going to need a car. Alright, so you're at school. And that's just the way we design ours. Like, it's really annoying. I wish we had more mixed zoning here. For me to get, like, the nearest place I can get food, I have to, like, walk, ride, or drive my car almost a full mile. Even though it's, like, real close, just because they have, the neighborhoods are all, like, these little windy areas back tucked away. And I'm exaggerating a little bit. But you get the idea, is just to, like, reach the restaurant, if I was to use something other than a car, it's going to be, 30 minutes to get to the restaurant, to then eat, to then come back, so it becomes very impractical, so you have to take the car to get there. And obviously a bike would be better and all that. Versus if you have, like, mixed zoning, you go downstairs, you go to, like, the next building over, and congratulations, there's food. It may not be the food you want, but there is food. So you want to buy something worth $500. We can just put in our statue in your gallery. Now we actually want to position it. We'll fix in a moment. Yeah, bus system is pretty subpar. It's that or a car. Yeah, it's the same here. If you try and use the buses for any type of transportation, you'll just be late everywhere because the buses are not completely unreliable. That's the point. Big point with payers. Yeah, if you go to any major cities, like that's the when I visited my younger brother over in Oregon, at one point he was in a city called Corvallis, which is like it's a little medium-ish university city in Oregon that you could walk almost everywhere, even though it wasn't urban sprawl kind of thing. And that city was wonderful. I could see, like, genuinely before I met Tomb, I was trying to move out to that area because, like, I just, like, fell in love with that area. It was such a nice place. And, like, people were just nice in general, like, just period, just nice. If you were, like, if you look like you're having a tough day, unprompted, somebody be like, hey, is there anything I can do for you? Doing all right? Do you need anything? And it wasn't, some big thing about it. It's just the way they were over there. And then later on, he moved closer to, like, I won't say the actual city, but he's, like, in the general, like, Seattle area, a little bit out there. That's the same thing. It's just, I liked going to Portland. I've been there a number of times because of all the tech stuff going on there. I've been to Portland, Seattle area. Their public transportation is very good there. I like the light rail. I know people be like, oh, the light rail's so terrible. I'm like, nah, I had a good time. I only ran into one person that was like, oh, this person's totally sketchy and I need to not be near them. And I know there's people who absolutely hate public transportation. That's fine. Don't use it. Um, but I've liked going places where you can just, oh, I need to get into town. All right, I just get on the light rail. It takes me right to the middle of downtown. I hop off, like Salt Lake City, Utah. I like traveling to Salt Lake City, Utah, because you go in the airport, you hop on the light rail, it takes you right into the middle of downtown. You hop off, and everything's right there. You don't need a car at all for the entire time you're there. Like maybe if you go up to like ski resorts or something, right? You go up in the mountains, you'll probably need to rent a car and all that. You don't mind as long as it's not rush hour. Yeah, some of them can get pretty overwhelmed. Wonder how USA's countryside feels to live in. I haven't lived in country, like proper rural. I imagine it's nice and relaxing. It's one of those things that it can suck. Like I joke with Toom sometimes that we will go areas and you're like, hey, how would you feel about having to drive 45 minutes to go to the grocery store? Because that's the nearest grocery store to where we're at. And she's like, I would not do this. I am not on board. No. Just the same, we've gone to like the super duper like paradise. You see like the hot, like, there's the island with like the, up in the hills, like multi-million-dollar home, and you see like the little windy roads going down. It's like, how'd you like to, anytime you want to go anywhere, you gotta take this little windy road down this effectively water mountain to get on your boat to go to the next island over to go to the grocery store or whatever little thing you want to do. And she's like, no, absolutely not. So your family has some property in the country. It's like, yeah, 30 minutes to the grocery store. Yeah, and I mean, the closest I've ever been in was my grandparents, when they're still around, they had a cottage that was it's in this little teeny tiny city called Walaka. It's by Palaka, but it's in the middle of nowhere, Florida. It's got like canals and all that. It's a wild place, like retirement people go. The only relevance it has for the state is way back before like air conditioning and everything was developed. There was a trade route that would cut across the middle of Florida to go from the Atlantic to the Gulf, because that would be more efficient for certain trade goods. And that, I believe, was Palaka, had a ferry, like Oregon Trail ferry, where you could take your wagon or whatever you're moving your goods on, put it on this ferry made out of logs, and they would pull it using a rope to the other side of this river to then have you get off and, continue. That was its big thing to fame, which is still cool. But that's like all there was there. And there's like restaurants in the area now, but it was one of those things. It's like, oh, we're gonna do a store run. We'll see you all in like 3 hours, because you had to go there, and you'd bring like coolers with ice and everything, because by the time you got to the grocery store, if you didn't have that stuff, like the milk would start going because it's just too hot. So it's like, if you wanted ice cream and all that, they had it right there where you could just, drive up the road 10-15 minutes and get ice cream. But if you wanted to like actually get your groceries or whatever, it was the whole thing. And it was cool to go out there, but it was very genuinely, you would travel from like your home to go to this cottage. You'd pick up your groceries on the way for however long you're staying there. You'd stay there and then you'd leave. But like the idea of staying there and then going and getting your groceries back and forth, it's like, man, I don't want to spend 3-4 hours every week to get my groceries. Spending like an hour is more than I want to do. Alright, so get your low leftovers. Did you already do your homework? I don't remember if you did your homework. You have not. Okay, so you need social interaction. You like the ferries? Like, that's the thing. Like, I remember going over there and riding on the ferry just to do it. But it was one of those things that you rode the ferry to the other side, and you're like, okay, well, we're just going to go back now. After being in 6 years on Paris, I want to go back to live in the countryside. Yeah, there's pros and cons. And there's certain places that are just, that this one's a lot nicer for, like, you might prefer one style of living than the other. I definitely don't want to live rural. I would not be happy in that situation. Like, proper rural. I do like being able to just ad hoc go out and do stuff kind of things. and not have to drive like up the road half an hour to do the nearest thing. It reminds me too much of when I was growing up as a kid. Nah, more like teen. As a teen, that the city I was living in, like it had restaurants locally, like that stuff was all fine. But if you wanted to actually go out and do something, it was a huge pain because you had to get in a car and go like 30 to 45 minutes. You could choose just about any direction to go, but 30 to 45 minutes to find literally anything worth doing. Because like the one or two activities we had for like kids and teens in the area, one was a roller skating rink that burned down, so that became unavailable. And it burned down twice. They didn't rebuild it the second time. But as well as places you went in, like, how is this place not burned down? Oh, it's burned down. Because they were definitely breaking just about every fire code you can imagine, just ramming every bit of electrical into the same stuff. Fun troll. The stereotype of people living in crazy, stressed, mean in Paris is no joke. Just like being a slow walker makes people angry. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Paris and I didn't experience that, but I didn't live there, so it very well could have been the parts of Paris I was in visiting that I didn't experience that. So I won't say it's not that way. But yeah. And so I wouldn't want to live in like proper rural. I haven't lived like proper like downtown like city. That's your last one? The kid needs a daily supply of crayons to eat? Why? What? Actually, before that one. And my Rual is 2.4 miles from my house to the main highway. Okay, there's probably a comment before that one too. I guess there isn't. Okay, I mean, yeah, I've actually got access to several major roads pretty easily from where I'm at. And the area I live would be vaguely suburbia. I think I would want to live in a place that's got a bit more density than what I have. Like I'm not unhappy with the density situation so far as like urban versus rural kind of thing. Um I don't think I'd want to go less. Like it wouldn't be much more down so far as density before I'd be unhappy with it. Because again, I like to be able to just go out and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go out and play tennis today or whatever. Which actually I really can't do because they put those all inside HOAs that you have to have membership to the, or you have to be part of the computer, pay for membership or whatever, just to get at them, which is super garbage. Because seriously. But go back to socializing. But like I like being able to go and say, hey, you know what, I want to go out and get food and it not be this several hour endeavor. You know, hey, I want to go out and like hit up a, I mean, probably not a movie. I almost never go to see movies. But you know, the availability of doing stuff without having to make an entire day out of something that's going to be like an hour or two activity. I very much enjoy that. Um, like I never want to go back to when I was living where my folks live. That, you know, when I was a kid at their house and dealing with that kind of stuff, or just I want to do some. Well, I have to plan my entire evening to be able to do, you know, like see a movie. That's going to be my entire evening planning around that whole thing for like an hour and a half movie. Would you quit throwing trash in the floor? You ghost? Oh, I'm sitting here queuing up stuff. It's fine. They're queuing up stuff and Bronson's like, why is she not doing it? I'm looking at the wrong person. I always have mixed on how would I feel about like living in like right in the middle of a city, like properly in the middle of a city, like Paris or New York or Chicago or Detroit or whatever. Like properly living that. Well, that's the thing. I actually don't watch much in the way of movies. I am not someone who really enjoys just plunking down and sitting for 2 or 3 hours. Like, an hour and a half movie is about as far as I want to go before I'm like, look, you know what? I have stuff I want to get done today. I was enjoying the movie, but I'm ready for it to be over. I'm just not big on the whole movie scene. Like, I'll go and see movies. Like, you know, I went to see all the Star Wars movies and all that. But yeah, no, it's when they have those movies like this movie is 2.5 hours. I'm like, that's a movie. You're just like, I gotta really want to see that movie. Like, I just don't want to sit and just idly consume stuff for that long personally. Like, that's one of the reasons I like watching stuff on the computer and streaming and all that, because I can have the stream going on over here and I can do something. I can have active consumption of something. Just watching TV, it's very difficult for me to enjoy that for an extended period of time. I gotta be really into a show for that. And everyone's different. I know there's some people who that is the way they wind down at the end of the day. They're like, look, man, my brain has been full engaged all day. I just want to sit down, I just want to veg. And that's totally fair. I've absolutely been there. It was pretty good to be able to have anything at hand, but dang, people, man. My hermit mind is not happy. Well, that's the thing. I actually don't like crowds. I don't like being around crowds. When I go to something like a theme park, it's actually a little difficult for me to enjoy it because I find being around that many people extremely exhausting. I mean, like, I like going to conventions, but it is one of those things. By the time the convention's over, I am so far past spent. I'm like, I am ready for the convention to be over. I've had a good time, but like, very genuinely, I just need to not be around people for a while. So that's one of those things that usually when people's like, are you an introvert or an extrovert? It's like, you're very clearly an extrovert. I'm like, no, I'm very introverted. That said, I can hold a conversation. I express as an extrovert, but it's like, people are draining. And that's the thing that defines introvert and extrovert is like, do you recharge by talking, like hanging out with people and doing all that? Or do you recharge by kind of doing your own thing? Very close friends usually being an exemption from that. The social battery goes out a night, spend 3 days, total solitude to recoup. Yep. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. 1 kebab, please. Welcome. Alright. We've leveled up that. Yep, no, it's a solid name. You look like you work for McDonald's? What? Why would you feel like that? What is your assumption of what McDonald's employees look like? There are questions and there are riddles. Oh, sure, kebab now? Yeah, kebab sounds pretty good, actually. Alright, so let's go here. Let me guess. You work as an IT technician? So I did used to do IT way back in the day. I actually did about 15 years I'm still technically doing it. I do put about 15 years into software development, where I've done that as a career. I am a public speaker when it comes to conferences and technology as well as accessibility. I am a former college educator, and I used to work in IT before all that. Well, I mean, I guess the IT overlapped the college thing, but still. And if you go and wait, you don't look that old. That is because I worked a lot of jobs at the same time for most of my life. There was a point in my life I was technically working 5 separate jobs at the same time. One job was full-time while a full-time college kid. I don't recommend it. Negative 50 out of 10. Do not do that. You want to talk burnout? I can explain burnout. Alright, so you're gonna get your social out of here. Did you make good money of it? At that point, that wasn't good money. That was me just trying to pay for college in the middle of the housing crisis. That's just what I had to do to make ends meet because I kept upping tuition for colleges again and again while I was in college. It was horrible. I did make really good money in software development, though. There's good money to be made in software development. IT was also not bad. Nowhere near as good as software dev. Software dev is big money. Being a college instructor, that was not bad. It was an adjunct thing, so there's a lot that goes into it. So like as far as like total income, it wasn't a lot, but it also wasn't a huge amount. You loaned money to a friend and now you're in debt. About 200. How do I do? You don't loan money to people unless you're willing to give that money away. Like any money you loan someone, assume is gone. That you're just giving it away into the ether, and if it happens to come back, that's a win. Otherwise, the classic thing, do something that creates value that you can make money doing. You know, whatever job you can work. I definitely used to go to the bar with my sketch pad in that same time as being a broke college student, where I would just draw there and people would be like, hey, will you draw a thing? And I would, basically, it was usually they wanted me to draw one of them or their friend or whatever. And all that kind of stuff. Which all that's easier said than done, for the record. But that's the whole thing. Yeah, you should always assume any money you loan someone is gone. Like, even if you truly trust the person, just assume it's gone, and if it doesn't happen to be pleasantly surprised. You'll have a much healthier life that way. Because otherwise you'll budget planning for the money to come back. Something will happen to your friend who needed you to lend them money, which is already a sign that maybe they're not doing so great. Alright, well obviously you're trolling on this point. But yeah. I think I already have that on the gallery. Hey, Allison. It's going well. How's Penny the kiddo? Penny finished her aspiration for having a mansion, and now she just wants to have just raw money in the bank. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. Just wants to have like raw money in the bank. So that's going well. We have been making pretty solid progress on Bronson. Getting a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'll go ahead and make some more servings. Okay, sell that to the gallery. You're gonna get food. Get this out of my way. You look like you work at McDonald's? Alright. Clearly that's a second account of the same person. Which I will warn you, if I end up banning one of those accounts and that is the same person, that ends up being a thing where, you know what, that's called band evasion. But yeah, let me go ahead and get that stretch. It's probably because he doesn't hate everything like Mom. Yup. Alright, so getting that stretch out. Yeah, no, I'm sitting here, it's like, alright, very cool, it's the same, like, secondary account for the same person, considering I've been streaming for like 2 years, and... No, I know that, but the timing is either A, there's some meme going around that I'm not familiar with, and you jumped on the same meme as someone else, like, someone did a video where they just go in and then troll people. Or otherwise you're literally the same person who popped in here a minute ago and said the exact same thing, word for word, letter for letter, which is just a little bit too much on the nose, which point I wonder why there's a second account. Because I'll tell you, those coincidences don't happen. You got Discord? Yep, and I will warn people, if they start trolling on the Discord, they will be gone. Generally speaking, when it comes to the stuff I do on the channel, basically think of it as like not necessarily safe for work. Like it's not a matter of safe for work. Real talk. If you need help with some things in chat, You know what? Are you asking to be a moderator? I wouldn't be against you being a moderator if that's what's coming up. Because I mean, I've got a couple. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that right now. Can I do that like literally right now? Bam. Can you be a mod? No. I don't know who the heck you are. You had some folks being rude earlier. Maybe it's some meme thing that's going around. That's what I was wondering is either A, it's a meme thing. Thank you. And that's not because of same opinions. It's very clearly either A, it's a meme that like some video came out about popping out and saying, "Hey, you look like you like work at McDonald's." Like that's just like some meme I'm unaware of. At which point, you know, whatever. Or it's literally the same user doing multiple accounts. You know, and just repeating the thing to be like, haha, now it's a shared opinion. It's like, no, that's thing. Because like I can tell you, that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Like it's one thing if it's like a regular thing that's popped to the channel for a long time. Like there's a couple different ones that have been popped up like that. Yeah, that or it's summer and the kiddos are. Well, I mean, the kiddos are always out. But like for it to be like verbatim. Yeah, no, it's like that's one that pops up once in a long while. Just gonna check on the general chat. Okay. Okay. Everything about getting to know, sure. Get to know whoever you want. Don't ask my permission. Yeah, I assume that was the other account by the same person? Alright. Yeah, if they're like both the same person, because it's also like if you pop into someone's random chat and your first thing is like, you look like you work at McDonald's, or you look like a garbage man, or something like that, it's like, okay, what? What? That's the reason my response is like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, what is your impression of a McDonald's employee? Because to me, they're perfectly ordinary people working a job that have an entire range of aesthetics. Now, if I was wearing like a bright red shirt, I'd be like, oh, I see it. I see. It looks like a McDonald's uniform. Do they wear red? I actually don't know what color McDonald's wear. I haven't been to a McDonald's in years. Hey, She-Wolf, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. I know my Florida area is getting really strong storms. Hope anything. I haven't noticed any storms here yet, but yeah. I'm gonna help here where I can. Your homie, know each other real well. That's the reasons why I didn't have a problem. And I know a couple other people asked. Um, I wouldn't be like I do actually need to get more mods. Just being entirely transparent. Um, because like right now the mods we have is we have Pankraro, we have El Goso, and we have Sentient Cookie. And while they're here, they all do help. We now have Foxmouse, which Foxmouse has been a while, and I believe you've modded a couple other channels I've seen as well, if I'm not mistaken. But so I was like, okay, yeah, I know if some of the other content creators I know trust this person as a mod, like absolutely, and nothing but positive vibes there. And like even if someone's been a channel for a long time, I try to, I don't know, it's always the thing that's been tricky with the mods thing. But I wouldn't be against getting other mods, but probably DM me, not on Twitch, but on Discord, that if you're interested. That said, please don't be upset if I'm like, no, because I am particular about mods. That usually, if it's someone who's been ready to intervene, or I see when someone's like kicking off and all that, that they're so to say, hey, like, you know, please calm down with that kind of stuff, or hey, like when I'm busy, that I see them kind of doing the mod. Yeah, Buddy Fox, that's who. Yeah, no, that's part of the reason I jumped on is like, hey, because you know you could tell I was getting like, all right, should I do about this? And all that. See, hey, bro, you'll never let's see, you'll never hear me ask to be a mod because I don't know how to mod. like that, and I don't have any interest. Yeah. Who says, is I want to mod for the power trip a good sentence for a resume? Probably not. In my opinion, if you're asking to be a mod, the perfect reason why you shouldn't be a mod. Right. That was the thing, like, Foxmouse didn't say, hey, will you mod me? Foxmouse was like, hey, do you need help with chat? Which is a very different approach to it. But yeah, no, it's generally speaking, so it's like, I want to be a mod. It's not that they're on my never list, but it's immediately one of those things like, no. And then there's also, if there's people who have been very vocally strong opinioned, I generally won't make a person a mod. Because I've absolutely seen that where there's a mod that's like perfectly good most of the time, but then the thing that's like conflicting to their opinion shows up, and that's the whole thing. Sure. And it's one of those things you have to be careful. Because a good mod team can absolutely help make a channel, a bad mod team can absolutely destroy a channel. Yep, and you can unmod people at a time. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely, if we're in that kind of situation where someone's... Oh, you didn't... That's fine. You're asleep, right? That's fine. Let's see. It's not offensive, it's kind of a job. Sometimes people just don't fit. Yep. Joe says, I can't guarantee my availability because of my health. I feel that availability is super important, and I can't guarantee. So that's one thing is, when it comes to people modding the channel, I will never have like here's your obligation. I need you out here like at this time. Like it's nothing like that. The way I see it is, if I can't pay someone to do it, like my only expectation is when people are doing it, they don't cause problems kind of thing. Make caprice. That they are helping, but like I don't like, it's one of those things that was a thing that kept me from taking, like, the first year almost I didn't have any mods of the channel because it's not like I could afford to pay someone even if I wanted to, and it felt weird for me to be asking people to help me do something that is to get me paid and then, not compensating them. And so it was like really, really a weird thing for a while. And then eventually it's like, there's people who I've helped with their channels as well, or they've just been around and they were kind of already modding. They just didn't have the tools they needed to do it right. And so it's like, okay, yeah, I'll make you a mod. You're already doing the thing here. Is my rule more so that I would never ask to be paid for it? Yeah, like it was a thing like the channel ever got big. Like, proper big, where I am making good proper money, that I have money I could throw around at that. I would absolutely want to do something like, hey, for the people who are modding, like, gonna pay them kind of thing. I don't expect to ever get there, because if we're being realistic about how content creation goes, that by and large, very, very few content creators ever get to that thing. Where's small talk? Small talk. Hey, if you're gonna take pictures, I get to brag about my possessions to you. It's just the way this works. But like I would love to be in that situation. Go to DM me on Discord stream winner. We talk about then. Oh yeah. I need to get you a mod role on the Discord and all that. Like I am very light on how I approach with the modding kind of thing. That's just very generally, I do tend to be forgiving of people. Let's see, with how complex taxes are in my country, I don't allow any dude I mod to pay me anything. Yeah, no, that'd be well, that's a separate whole thing. Like it'd be also like I'd be totally fine if like, hey, I want to throw this money at a person. And they're like, hey, I don't want to deal with the paperwork, so instead, could you just donate to charity or like whatever thing? I'd be down with that. Because like, thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. I know there's a couple content creators. That's things that they've done is the person doesn't want to deal with it, which is totally fair. Taxes are absolutely awful so far as the paperwork side of it here. Why do I keep finding junk everywhere? Who keeps throwing trash there? It being on disability, I won't accept payment. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that's, to me, shouldn't be the way it is. If like doing the thing you need to do to get taken care of, they're like, hey, you have a disability, we're going to help cover you, but if you dare work, we're gonna take it away. It's like, okay, so you're just basically, you know, you're forcing people to not work. Like they should get that. Yeah, we won't need to get into all that, but it is one of those things I wish we were better about a lot of that stuff. Because it almost feels like you're like, oh, you have a disability? Well, here, we'll give you a helping hand, but you're not allowed to live. Sorry. It's like, but can we find a middle ground where like I still get the help I need to get over this, not hump because it stays there. It's disability. It's not something that goes away. Get that extra hand, but if I want to do extra. You tell everyone about your passion game yet? Oh, I mentioned earlier in the stream that the thing where Sui was giving out keys that, as a content creator, you'll have people like, we'd love you to play this game on your channel, and you pull up the game and you go, oh, that's awful. No. Or they'll give out keys and you'll be like, you can give this to your community. Go, this is not good. But Sui was giving out a bunch of those keys, and it's like a weaponized thing that she was doing, that they're doing Hangman in Pressure Wash Simulator. And I'm going to get this wrong, but I believe the person who won would choose someone to give the key to. And if before they finished the description of the game they said someone else's name, that other person would get the key to just deal with. That is just the way it was. And I was given a game called King and Assassins, which was apparently a board game that got ported to a computer game. And it actually had some pretty high quality animations and all that. But just about everything about the game was a problem. You had to sign up with a third-party website who the sign-up didn't work, and like my understanding is there is like multiplayer focus but no one to play with. Is one of those kind of situations. But there was lots of stuff wrong with the game. But so Sui gave me the key. It's like, well, this is your problem now. It's like, okay. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm booting it up right now. Let's see what this is. It was pretty rough. Can't wait for Say Skylines 2. Oh yeah, there is a lot of stuff coming out this fall I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Say Skylines 2. I don't remember when it's coming out, but I'm looking forward to Frostpunk 2. I'm looking forward to Path of Exile 2. I'm looking forward to what is the Bethesda title? Starfield. I'm looking forward to Starfield. Payback scheme. For a week now, there's a kid trying to take Bronson's chips. And today, he took his brownie too. It's time Bronson takes a stand. The way he sees it, there are two choices. Kid law, public shaming, or private revenge. I mean, I'm missing context here. Is this kid, like, very clearly struggling on food or whatever? Because public shaming would easily backfire in that case, where it's like, this person is starving. And you're like, oh, they're just taking some of your snacks. I'm going to go with public shaming. Alright, Bronson waits until the cafeteria monitor is near, then shouts, okay, so they specifically state it's a mean kid. He walks over and scolds the mean kid in front of everyone. All that, and Bronson gets his bag of chips too. He's not taking his carrots, he's taking his chips and brownies. Yep. Starfield is going to require a really good CPU and video card runs. Probably. Like, we don't know for sure, but probably. If you were to have me look at the crystal ball, I'd say yes. We don't know until it drops, but considering what they're talking about simulating and doing, I can't imagine it doesn't require some decent tech. Most likely there's a bunch of performance controversy because they are partnering with AMD and excluding Nvidia. Interesting. Hey, Longclaw, how's it going? Give me just a moment and do this. Why are you doing this? Shout out, Longclaw. For those who don't know, Longclaw, absolutely fantastic content creator on the platform. But just being the way where it doesn't tell me what they've been playing most recently, but does say that Victoria 3 is on the schedule coming up. So that sounds good. Does play a variety of games. Definitely some like City Builders, Settlement Builders, that kind of stuff, some Project Zomboid, a whole range of things. Generally, if you like the content here, you'll probably like it over there. This most likely won't have DLSS as launch, is the rumor. Yeah. What do you think will be a good setup? Oh, for playing Starfield, I have no idea. We'll have to wait until they actually put out some specs and all that. Until they do that, anyone saying this is what you need doesn't know. Last stream was 7 Days to Die. Yeah, a lot of people have been playing the 7 Days to Die update. There was I was gonna try and get in with there was a handful of other content creators playing. It's just the hours they were playing, it didn't really work well with mine. Like, I'd had to jump in like right at the end of my stream and either go long or whatever. And so it just didn't happen. And they've already moved on off of it because I guess it's pretty buggy. That said, it's all good. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, Zidian, because with Microsoft being over top of the project, I can't imagine they will want to ostracize Nvidia. So maybe they partner with AMD, but it's unlikely that they'll just be crappy about their support of it. Of Nvidia. Like, I would be surprised. Microsoft is usually, like, don't get me wrong, it's not that they don't have bugs or whatever. But that's what makes me curious is when this releases, because Bethesda has a reputation of having games that are perpetually buggy forever. Microsoft does not put up with, like, their games being super duper buggy. Like, they'll have bugs because all games of any complexity end up with them, but they're usually pretty okay about coming back around and dealing with them. Least in my experience. That's actually the thing that's been the most interesting for me is I am curious, because I believe this is the first game we'll have, I think it's the first one, that it wasn't just Bethesda on its own. Looks like you have the tree ready to evolve in the garden. Yep. You can do that here in a second. Alright. Got a special gift for you because you're just such a good neighbor. Let's see what it is. Okay. Where did she go? Oh, there you are. Alright. Your land plot looks really full now. Yeah, that's the thing that's been a thing that I'm like, what am I doing now? Because, like, we're at the point with this house that, it's from the rags to riches. She's just straight up in riches, that it's like, do I just make a second, a second speakeasy? Do I just make a second of, like, workout room? Do I just make an additional whatever? Just because I can?
Aw, yoyum. Sure.
Alright, so you want to discuss your favorite recipes.
Pleros. Oh,
Was it hobbies?
Trouble.
Interests? There you go. I got a one old Gabby. I don't know what that is.
Oh, Zagu Warba. Zator.
No, it's a thing you could decorate your house. Okay. Did you already do your homework? Do your homework. Have you go to sleep. But yeah, so it's been one of those things that, like, so far as Penny's side of this with the rags to riches, it feels like, okay, I could just build more to build more, but, like, as far as the land goes, I think the only area I know of offhand I'd be like, oh, like more bougie would be to build a house up here. But we're already like super duper bougie down here. And I think this lot is bigger than the one we have. But I think all the other lots are smaller. Does this tell me the size of it? No, it doesn't. It's like literally there's only one larger lot. And we're in the equivalent of like, that's not what I want. We're in the equivalent of like LA. Just take me back. Where are you? So it's like with the rags to riches run, I'm like, what do we even do now? Versus Bronson, we've been maxing him out as a character. But like it feels like the grinding of the skills so far is like I don't mind playing it. But it is those things I worry that people are like just not gonna stay interested in. Especially like what do we even build on here from now? What if we lived on a mountain or an island? Yeah, that would be if I do a thing where when Bronson becomes a teenager, I have Bronson leave the house to move out on his own kind of thing. That's what I would probably do is I'd either A go for like Sulani because it's just like this tropical paradise. I could see him doing that. Um Like that's where I'd probably go because that's the only place I could see that would technically be in, potentially a higher cost of living in real life. Um, like a little island place because like this is supposedly in a nice-ish part of L.A. So this is serious money. What the top right corner world? Let's look. The top right corner. Oh, that's Forgotten Hollow is one of the ones that came with like the vampire thing I could build there. I don't have a way of really knowing the size. But this is Foxmouse was kind enough to get me the DLC that adds vampire, and then there's the DLC that adds like, witches and that kind of stuff. Can you visit it? Yeah, I could visit it. I actually don't know what there is to visit. I saw the households. I didn't see if there was like any activity locations. It looks like these are all residential. Yeah, so it'd be visiting someone's home. There's not a there's not like a bar or something there. Let's see. When you were young, you thought you'd own an island one day. Now I feel like I'd be lucky to own a house one day. Well, then plus, like we actually discussed earlier, you have, the people have like the mountainous island, they have like the multi-million-dollar home like sticking off the side of it and all that, and you're like, who wants to ride around the wavy road that goes down? The Wizard DLC has more areas to visit, but you have to be a spellcaster to see them. Interesting. That's kind of a neat gimmick. More than likely, Bronson will end up picking that up. I can't imagine Penny does. Like I said, it feels almost like Penny has kind of lived out her story where she started with nothing and has built this ridiculous estate. Is that a career trait? Spellcaster, I don't know actually. I know they do have like magic and all that with the DLC. Like imagine right now if I go to the cauldron, I can cook recipes in here like mac and cheese and mac and cheese and chili and that kind of stuff. I imagine if you have a spellcast, you could probably make other potions or whatever. Alright, so you just want to have a bunch of money in the bank. Yum chili mac. Okay. Ooh. So it's called a super sim is what people, because like I'm not familiar with the challenges in that. Like I know there's rags to riches, I know there's the 100 baby challenge or whatever. Um but it was super sim is the one where you try and max out every trait, every aspiration, everything. Do all the career paths on one person. So you're really just trying to rush through as many of them as you can as fast as you can. The spellcaster is actually seen as a type of race, kind of like werewolf and vampire. You could become one from human and vice versa. I see. The girls have been consumed? Yeah, I'm not sure yet what I'm doing for dinner. I'm probably just pulling some out of the freezer and chucking in the oven. Because I know me and Toom are trying to be sparing on the grocery shopping right now. Because it's not going to be super long till we do Exile Con. That's in a couple weeks here. So we're trying to avoid getting a bunch of sorry. We're trying to avoid getting a bunch of food that's just going to sit in the fridge and go bad. Play the organ some more. Oh, I see. Children aren't allowed to play haunting music on the organ. That's no fun. Why can't the kid be into spoopy stuff? I still haven't decided what I'm doing for the second half of the stream though. Because we do have Terraria and Satisfactory going. And I'm not done with either of those games. We're gonna be doing more of those. But part of me feels like just doing something as like a one-off for today, and I like even then I don't know what. Like, you're just looking to, like, mix it up kind of thing is really the way I'd state it. Like, I'll put it up to a poll. Because that's... I found that works really well when I can't decide, is to just put 4 or 5 games up to a poll and just leave it at that. And Bronson's getting not too far from being able to, never need to sleep again. Bronson with his nearly 30,000 followers. I'm only a lot jealous. I wish content creation worked even remotely like it does in the game. Where you just gotta sit there, you make stuff. Alright, there's this thing about appointment tomorrow. You know, they just kind of like, if you create content, you know, you build it, they will come, that they just keep showing up no matter what. Because the reality of content creation is very genuinely, you can broadcast to an empty room forever. Oh good, that's a new painting. To go in our gallery. Yeah, because they're only accepting masterpieces down there, and only if they're not duplicates. Alright, so let's stop the stream, have him take care of his... You know, do that. I need to put the walls back down. Take a bath. Eat some dinner and all that. Get him ready for school. You know, level piano. Aren't you, like, near maxing piano? Yeah, you're at piano 8. How much longer till you age up? Shouldn't be too long. Yeah, so he has 7 days left till he becomes a teenager. At which point, I believe as a teenager, almost everything becomes available to him. Just about everything. And that might be the point. I might actually have him, when he becomes a teenager, move out. Because, like, Penny's existence right now is effectively painting. And this house feels done. So I could see Bronson striking out on his own. We'll probably keep the stream, like have him, you know, take enough to set up like the stream setup.
because the stream video uploading thing allows him to train other skills and still benefit. What did you? Oh, never mind. Bronson's fine. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So that gives Bronson a way of making an income that I could have him start a stream and then do like tricks. Tricks of how to get started on the path of being a spellcaster later on. Sure. Like mechanically, I assume there's something I have to do to trigger making it available. Either like I have to meet up with a spellcaster and then talk to them about magic, or I have to go and do some type of. There's gonna be some, like, knowing the way the game works, there's gonna be something I have as the player have to do to say I would like to be a spellcaster that makes it available, and maybe there are steps. Okay. That's just because they've been pretty good about this game, about not letting, the game automatically do things that are kind of like life-altering stuff to you. Like other than your character dying, but usually they give you so many ways to avoid death. Like, if they get struck by lightning, usually what ends up happening is it says, electrified or whatever, and then if you choose to ignore that, then you die. Because, like, you'll get zapped by lightning, and if you get electrocuted a second time, it kills you. Old age is the only one that, there's even ways to avoid that, but that one requires investment. Like, there's a thing you could do to age reverse your characters. I don't remember how it works. Things like a potion or whatever. Does Penny and Bronson share the same bank account? Yes. It's the way the Sims work is there's a household bank account. So this $41,000, it belongs to the household. It's not Penny's, it's not Bronson's. So when Bronson moves out, I will be able to decide how the money gets dealt with. Whether Penny just keeps all the money and Bronson moves out with nothing, or Bronson, like, I can't remember exactly how, but there's some way you can adjust, how much goes each way. It's one of the things, I seldom split a house. I almost always bring in. You can even grow flowers for the Grim Reaper to change his mind. Yeah. They usually give you lots and lots of opportunity to deal with lots of stuff. Now, a lot of those things with the Grim Reaper, there's some things that are guaranteed you get away with. Like, the age reversal is a guaranteed way to avoid, like, to prolong your time for getting to death. And then there's other things that maybe not. Like, because I believe you can go to the Grim Reaper and you could, like, beg him to spare you, and there's a small chance that he'll go with it. But more than likely, he'll just kill you. But that's okay. The ghost of your former self can haunt your property forever. Okay. Darkstrider parting. Okay, so you're about to get out of school. Go sleep. Deathflower, it's neat. I'm almost at the point where you can grow it. Sure, invite your classmate over. And every time you do, you usually immediately go to bed and be like, classmate, go hang out with my mom. I don't got time for you. Yeah, I'm guessing it was Sims 2 or 3 that had this where you could hit the X and get rid of that. You're having another kid? The Tinker family's growing fast. Oh wait, you want to actually talk to her? Yeah. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, now there's lots of ways to avoid death. I appreciate about the game, like, that if you're so invested in a character that you go, oh hey, what if I don't want the character to die, kind of thing. There's a rumor at my workplace that someone will get a promotion. Should I try to impress the boss and get it? Yep. Go for it, Santa. What was just playing that noise? What did we accomplish? It played a whole, like, fantastic fanfare, and I really don't know what it was about. When you want to watch a cooking show, easy enough. We just go here. That's not what I want. Watch channel. Alright. Man, it's a nice TV. Yep, the whole wall. You want to listen to your music? Let's see, is there any use to the maze, or is it just rich people decorations? So, if you look back here, we do have a bonfire with a nice little area back there, but we also have a stairwell that goes to a speakeasy down here. And there's also another staircase that goes up there that's in Bronson's like personal like little guest house. The kid has his own guest house. But yeah, so there's a hidden speakeasy down here. Oh. Apparently the radio broke as you want to listen to it. Okay. Man, we got all sorts of stuff happening. Like, if we go down here, the pool has, like, aquarium windows, so you can, like, sit in there and, like, look at the pool. It's going pretty good. Got, like, a little workout room. We've got this as an art gallery that's nothing but Penny's own art. We got, like, little public restrooms. We got the speakeasy. And this is, like, sort of like a witch room or whatever. We've got a park bench with a whole bunch of vending machines. We got Bronson's recording room, so it's got like his stream set up. He's got his own computer, a piano, a guitar, and all that. What expansions did you go with? So I don't have the pet expansion or the growing together expansion because I'm not willing to pay the money. And just like, so I've got all the major expansions before that. Like all the smaller stuff I don't have. But a big part of that is I was unwilling to pay for them. Alright, so you've been listening to music. Are you awake yet? You're not awake yet. You want to win chess? You want to win chess. Fair enough. Okay, with all that said, it is getting to be about that time where what I'm going to do is I do stream for 11 hours, so at some point I gotta eat. So what I'm going to end up doing is stepping away from The Sims here for a little bit. We'll put some words on stream coming up. That way I can go and quickly make myself some food happen and all that kind of stuff. And then in the meantime, when we get back, we will be switching games. I actually don't know what to. We're going to put a poll up and see what people decide, and we'll go with it. So, don't go in with that. You know, may ask me, how much did it cost? I was thinking about buying a bunch. Oh, I got it when it was all like 70-80% off sale years ago. And I don't go on those kind of good sales very often. Because if you try and get like all the expansions and then DLCs, it is going to be astronomically expensive. It's like Paradox games where if you can catch it all on sale, you might actually get a decent price for it. But if you try and buy it all at regular price, you're going to be out hundreds of dollars. Something absolutely unreasonable. Anyways, so if you bear with me, I'm going to pause the game and save. I'm going to end the recording for the YouTube side.